Very. All right, very good. Yes, and
I like to make people happy.
Aww.
I like to be humorous.
Okay. Yes.
So when I'm presenting anywhere, I like to say things that will make people laugh because I know that is therapeutic.
You're actually witnesses to that. Yes. All right. Your name?
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Dami. What's something fun about me? Oh, icebreaker. No, I'm thinking. I'll pass on that question. Is that okay? Oh, you can help me? What do you want to say? No, I'm scared. All right, go ahead. No, say it. No, listen to that part. No, let's hear it. Let me hear you.
She likes to sleep with loud music on. I'm telling you, you have a weave that needs to be called or straightened. Ooh, you need to straighten your weave. That means your girl. There'll be no wrinkle. And for her, it is very therapeutic.
Good afternoon, my name is Berlin, and I like being in nature. I like to go backpacking, I like to go hiking, I like camping. I'm an outdoors girl.
Juanita would love you. Not me. Frogs.
Missing out.
Really?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll try.
Yeah.
Just because of
All right, my name is Incure, Coach K here. I enjoy working out. That's a fun fact. So I run a boot camp in class on Saturday. In church. So you're all invited to come for boot camp on Saturday at 11:30. And then similar to you, I like outdoors, hiking, running. And then maybe fun fact, people always think I'm 6 feet tall, but I'm actually not. I'm actually 5'10". But I look taller than
You're almost there.
no, it's different. Yeah, but I'm not 6 feet.
Please, if you're coming to my gym, better come with Advil.
Hello everyone, my name is Adela. I don't really have a fun fact.
Oh, yes, you do.
I know I really don't. I really don't. Okay, please.
If anything about kids, call Diola. She's very good with kids, and they all listen to her in the junior ministry. So, yeah.
I need to hire you.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, my name is Ezekiel. This fun fact question always bugs me. I'll try. One fun fact, I love music a lot. It's my, I just love good music, not just any music. I love gospel music, to be specific. And I also love food.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is James. Hi, everyone. Hello. Fun fact about me. I love skydiving. It's yeah, from the actual plane, just jump.
Have you ever gone?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Hi everyone. My name is Aura. And I enjoy traveling. That's one thing I love to do. And I do it very well.
oh wow, you do it very well.
Hi everyone, my name is Tammy, and my fun fact is my fun fact is the same. I like to travel. I think I've been to over 20 countries already. So that's my great fun fact.
Hi, my name is Siju. Hi, Hi, how's it going? One fun fact, I love playing chess. So chess is like my thing here. Like getting out with chess. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Wellington. Yes. Same also. I like playing chess too, and I like playing soccer. So.
That's nice. I'm going to take you guys the game of chess. Show my skills.
Hi everyone, my name is Bukola. I actually like, fun fact that nobody really knows about me, I like competitive sports. I used to play volleyball in high school, so.
Hi, my name is Viadina. Fun fact, I like reading.
Reading.
Every genre. But my preference is usually epic stories, fantasy, history.
I wish I could say that. But it won't be true. My name is Lolade, and fun fact, I love cooking. I think cooking is therapeutic. I just enjoy it.
And by the way, her food is really delicious. Can I have jollof rice for the store?
Oh wow, she's gonna order for tomorrow.
We actually
Okay.
need you for BBS. Don't worry, I'll
You let me know. Alright, very good. Oh, ready? Name and fun fact.
Hi everyone. My name is Juanita. Fun fact. I love coffee. Actually, anything coffee works. And I love
kombucha.
Oh yes, very important. I love kombucha. It's very good for your gut. And I love home decor. So that's it. Thank you.
Abigail, name and fun fact.
Hi everyone, my name is Abigail. Fun fact, everything about me is fun. I love
Everything about you is fun. Oh wow, amazing. All right, thank you so much everyone. So we're just gonna go right into it, right? And put me somewhere, and I promise you I won't move. Hear me? Okay. All right. So someone is trying to get into tech, and they're wondering how can they get started? Can you self-learn? What do you do?
Well, that's a really popular question, and that's one of those questions I get asked a lot of times. It's actually easier than most people think to get into tech because it's an ever-changing world and everything goes towards tech these days, whether we accept it or not. The future is tech. And the other day I was working with a doctor who is a cardiologist. I think I shared that with Pastor Mrs. And it was my first day on the job, and he was going to get some patient information from the database. And he wrote me a SQL query. That's like a doctor coding. He wrote me the query that he wanted for that patient. And I didn't even know how to write that. And it was my first day on the job, and the doctor was teaching me my IT job. So it's the future. So how do I get into IT? IT is not just one thing. It's not. Most people, when they hear tech or they hear IT, they think maybe you have to know computers, you have to know how to code, you have to have the smart IT knowledge, have to know how to do this and that. But it's actually simple. There are different industries and there are different places you can find yourself, and you would definitely fit in without being a computer guru. So where do you start from? Find where you want to be. So there are two parts. There are two motivations for IT. Number one is the passion. Number two is the money. So you got to figure out where you want to be. Do you want to do it for the money, or you have a particular industry that you like? So you can be an accountant and still be an accountant in tech. So you just got to be familiar with that industry and what their talking points are, how they balance their accounts, what a tech account. There are tech lawyers, there are tech salespeople, there's Medicare tech. I mean, that's really popular these days. So find out where you want to be. And in terms of self-training, I do not recommend it, but it's extremely possible. It's very possible and it's visible. I've done it. I have people that have done it. People are still doing it, and people are still going to do it. But not everyone is built the same. If you're not focused and you get easily distracted, or your time structure is not perfect, I wouldn't recommend self-teaching yourself into getting into IT. So a little background about myself: I studied architecture, so I'm actually supposed to be an architect. So I did a career change. So it's actually possible to actually switch. I know someone who is an engineer, who is an economist, and who is a DevOps engineer now. So how do I get into IT? Number one, find where you want to be, what the motivation is. Is it money or passion? If you want to make a lot of money, there are courses you can take and you can face that career path. If you're passionate about something, maybe you're already in like customer service, or maybe you're already in sales, or maybe you're a lawyer, you just want to find your way around and find where you fit in that industry, because it's large. It's not just all about computers, it's way more than that.
So like, as you're talking, like for me, what comes to mind is, how do you bring innovation into tech? Right? So when we think of like Facebook, Instagram, all these people, they started as an idea.
Right.
So maybe there's someone seated here today and you have an idea. Where do I go with it? How can I nurture it? How can I develop it?
First part is have the idea all tabled out. Patent your ideas. You want to secure it. Make sure no one else is going to take the idea. That's the first step. Once it's well planned and you know exactly what you want to do, if you have an idea for an app or you have an idea for something that could be done differently that's already being done, I'm of the opinion that there's nothing new. We just keep reinventing things all the way to taxi was not new before Uber. There's been taxis before Uber. What Uber did was make taxis better. There's been food, people have been ordering food for the longest before DoorDash came. DoorDash is a tech company and they just make ordering food different and easier for you. So get the ideas together, patent the ideas so they are yours, so no other person can take those ideas. And then it's an amazing time to be alive, because you can actually do a lot of things without knowing anything about what you're doing. So just because you are not a tech person does not mean you cannot get people to work with you. The board of directors in my company do not know they cannot restart a computer, and they're the board of directors. So you can have engineers, project managers, and then you can push your idea forward. You can get an engineer. A project manager will manage the whole system for you and get you an engineer, get your back-end codes and all that good stuff, and then move it up all the way. So get the idea, table it out, have it all planned out, patent it, and then look for people that can work with you on a freelance, or you don't even have to hire anybody.
You guys want to add anything?
What did you mean you can hire? You said hire a freelancer?
Yeah, you can just go to Upwork and you're gonna get a developer, you're gonna get a UX designer, you're gonna get a back-end support person, and you can have all these people working on the same team without being committed to any one of those people until your project is done. So I can actually build an app for her right now for Women at the Altar. I can build an app for you, and you just connect with all these different people. You know what you want, you table it to one person, you relate those to the engineers, and you can get an app within the next 2 weeks, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, I need to talk to you after.
Absolutely.
So basically, you can tap into different expertise.
Right, bring them together.
You are the visionary.
Right.
You tap into different expertise and you pull it all together.
And you can get anything done within any time frame that you're willing to work with.
So do you have to pay these people or no? Like, I'm curious to just know, like,
well, yeah, they're freelancers, which means you're not committed to saying, oh, you're going to be hired for so amount of time. They're only hired for that project. So for the lifespan of that project, they either have a contract with you or you have a contract with them. Like, hey, you know what? From the beginning of this program till the end, till this is ready to launch, this is how much I want to pay you. And I want to pay you. Yeah, of course, there's nothing free. Remember when I said, remember when I asked what your motivation was? Where do you think that is coming from? Where do you think the money is coming from? We have to get paid.
Well, without so much like entering into an agreement that says we do this together and then you take a part of this percent of the business.
Yeah, you can just pay one off.
None of all of that. Just do this particular project and then we're done. You wanted to add something?
Well, I'm just actually gonna there's a term for that. They call it other people's idea. So nowadays you don't really have to do stuff. Most things you don't need to use your money to start a business. You don't need to use your idea to start a business. You don't need to use your time to start a business. So they call it OPM, OPI, all this OP. OP is other people's money, other people's time, other people's idea. So if you know how to put all those together, you can just sit in your room and have people doing literally everything for you.
Other people's idea.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
Talk about that. That is intriguing to me.
So basically, what you said, you can go on Upwork, Fiverr, onlinejob.ph. That's a Filipino website. You have all these Philippines you hire them and you basically those guys. That's what they do. They know they're into everything pretty much. They work with all these big companies. So for instance, T-Mobile, most of the people that work for T-Mobile are not professionals that went to school here. There are people from Philippines that they train, tell them okay, this is how you do this is how you do that. So if you know, if you have an idea of what T-Mobile is doing that you're interested in, you can go on that side and look for those people that have been trained by T-Mobile and hire them. Then just pitch your idea, what you're looking for to them, and they'll tell you oh, this is how you do it, this is what we do, this is what we do, and you put it together and start selling it.
So then when you say OPI, for example, it's not so much that I'm executing somebody else's idea. It's I'm having other people help me birth my idea.
Well, it
depends on what side I'm sitting on.
It might not necessarily be your idea. So sincerely, what you said, nobody's starting anything new. We are just so like I said, T-Mobile is doing something. So you can I'm not as big as T-Mobile, but I can do it on a smaller scale. So T-Mobile is not reaching out to everybody. It's not everybody that can afford T-Mobile. So what you can do is what T-Mobile is doing, I can do on a smaller scale and reach out to people that T-Mobile cannot capture. So before you know it, you start from there, you start scaling.
I think I can just add to that.
Yeah.
There's a new movement right now. There are startups, there are companies in California or anywhere in the world. They are starting those companies not to fall through. They're starting those ideas and starting those businesses to be sold to other people willing to buy. So you're going to see new inventions coming. I think my company acquired close to 16 startups in the beginning of the year. Yeah, my company acquired 16 startups. These are innovative ideas in terms of images. And usually when you're sending images from one hospital to another, they have to use a DICOM store, and then it has to be done. Now these guys there's a startup that we just purchased that has some sort of tunnel that they use a PPT transfer secured, and nobody has thought of that because it's an old technology, nobody uses it anymore. But most of these images that is transferred are smaller, and that is just efficient and it's easier and it's cheaper. So what my company did was put $3 billion on that, and they just acquired that. So it's not our idea. We just saw someone else doing something good.
Well, you guys are able to scale it.
We're able to scale it. You know what? We're just gonna buy your idea and buy your resource, both human resource and physical resource, and just bring. So like he said, all these people ideas. So nobody from my company came up with that idea. They just saw it somewhere and acquired it, and then it's ours, and then it goes.
That's
on.
That's amazing. Yeah. So then I'm sitting here thinking, then how do I get started?
This is a good start. This right here is a good start.
After today. Let's really make it practical, right? So somebody's sitting there thinking, I want to be able to maybe start something, or I have an idea and I've been trying to figure out how to develop it, where to go with it. What's the next best step after hearing all of this?
So the first thing you want to do is to know the class your idea falls in. So is it tech, is it medical, or is it any other business? So once you figure that out, then you make your search based on that. So the website I mentioned, you go to Upwork, you look for if it's tech, you look for guys that does tech. If it's medical, you look for guys that does medical. Then you reach out to them, then talk to them, okay, this is what I'm looking to do, this is what I'm looking to do. Before you take it up
and these people can be trusted.
like we said, it's not something new. It's already out there. You just like trying to kind of like brand it and make it yours. So you have nothing to lose.
Yes, I have a question. So I'm familiar with Upwork and Fiverr, and I've used it for many years. I think can you talk to them about like how do you choose somebody that works like as Mr. mentioned, like there's experiences that I've worked with certain people, the freelancers, they're not the best. But I think Upwork and Fiverr gives you some level of guarantee. So maybe you can talk to them about what does that look like when somebody goes on Upwork, makes an account, a free account, like what does that look like in the process, and what kind of guarantees you have. Even if you pay them, they're not going to get the money right away. So maybe you can talk to them about that as well.
It's not like you don't really have to worry about much. So basically what you need to do is you just gotta put like in a little bit of work, and what I mean by that is before you kind of like go into deal with anybody, you want to make sure that you kind of like review the person's profile. And secondly, you go by reviews. Like when they work for you, people usually go back and put review. You have people that have like 5,000 reviews, 500 reviews. So just do the extra work by going through the review. The review are like they legit. So it's gonna say what the person did, what they did right, what they did wrong, their timing and everything. And another good thing about it is when you pay, you don't pay them directly, you pay the platform, of course. So once the job is done, they will have you confirm, like approve the job before they pay the person. So if the job is not approved, they're not gonna pay the person. So, and you can't cheat the person either, because Upwork is gonna reach out to okay, what is it? What is missing? What is the person not doing right? Just to make sure that everybody is okay and then. But the most important thing is make sure you go over the reviews and make sure that it's kind of like meet what you're looking for.
Yeah, and I can speak as both a seller on those platforms and as a buyer as well. I think I'm one of the highest selling guitar players on Fiverr. So before you hire someone, there's a communication, and Fiverr take charge of that communication. Or Upwork, they have the same workflow. You reach out to someone, you look at their reviews. If they, you don't want to reach out to someone who just started. It might be risky, but then it could be worth it as well. See what they're doing and see what their reviews look like, and then, like you said, when you pay, like when someone pays me for a project, the money does not get released to me for 14 days. So within that period, you can still come back and be like, you know what, I'm not happy with this, and I'm not going to get paid for that project. But there's also a protection for me. If I feel like I've done my job, but the person is just not satisfied, that's where Fiverr comes in. They're a middleman, and they're gonna make sure you're happy and I'm happy. I'm gonna get paid, and you're gonna get refunded. That's why that platform is quite important. So nobody's really losing anything at that point. But then you can always, I can assure you for free, you can always get the best talents there that can work with you within your budget and within the time frame that you choose.
So then there's someone sitting here, right, and listening to us, and they're thinking, well, I have a specific skill. Maybe I code, for example, and I want to put myself out there on this platform so other people can use my services. Then what do I need to do? Do I just go on there and put in an application?
Sign up. It's pretty easy. Put your skills together, have a portfolio, whatever. If you're a software engineer, you're a DevOps backend person, or you're a singer, or you're a voiceover artist, or whatever it is that you do, put a portfolio together of what you've done or what you can do, present it there, and for the best part of 2020, I made a living off of Fiverr alone.
Wow.
So it's possible. It's absolutely possible. I had to turn it off at some point because I was getting too much requests than I could fulfill, because I have my full-time job as well. So it's a good platform, and if you just put things together, the goal here is to stay organized. Whatever you can do, nobody wants to hear what you can do. Everybody wants to see what you can do. Mm-hmm. Put it together, create a portfolio for yourself, and then the sky is the limit. We'll live in a global world. Yeah.
Awesome. Any questions about that so far? All right, let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about investments, right? So it's one thing to work and put money in the bank, and having savings is great, but we all know that savings doesn't really get you where you would really like to get to, right? So let's talk about investments. Like, if I want to get into investments, how do I start? What would be some of your recommendations? And what kind of investments would you advise that one could possibly start with if you're a beginner?
Okay. So I like where Pastor Moses started from. Like, we all like have a job, we're making money and stuff, which is the first thing, because you need, we need a vehicle that will take you to where we're going. But the first thing is you want to know your reason. Why do you want to go into investment? So
to make money is not a good idea.
Well, you can't just say to make money, because there are many ways to make money, and you have to understand that when you go into, you probably won't start making money right away. So if you are not solid, if your reason is not solid, you will quickly back up. So the primary reason for putting your reason together is just to have something that will keep you going when you feel like the result is not coming forth. So speaking of that. So first thing is we'll get a job. When you get a job, it doesn't necessarily have to be a job. You can start a business, like you said. You can start something on Upwork. You can use other people's money. You can do leverage Amazon. There's a way to leverage Amazon. There's something they call FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. So basically what you do is we all shop on Amazon. We all go to the store. You can just get an app. There's something they call Seller Amp. So use the Seller Amp. Whenever you're in the store, you just scan what is in the store. That will show you how much that stuff I sell for on Amazon. So let's say you scan something in the store that's like $10 to show you when you scan it, tell you Amazon sells it for $50. So you can buy it from the store and ship it to Amazon, and Amazon will fulfill it for you. They take care of customer service and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
What's the name of the app, sorry?
Seller Amp. So just so Amazon will take care of the fulfillment for you. The only thing you need to do is to buy it from the store and ship it down to Amazon. So you just create a business account with Amazon. So you ship it down, they take care of the fulfillment, customer service, payment, and everything. So at the end of every 2 weeks, they just deposit, credit your account. So that's by the way. So what we're looking at now is our business. So when it comes to investment, so whatever you're making from your job is not something that you want to spend, because sincerely, one of the things that we're all going through right now is the pressure. Most of us are pressured by people that are spending their harvest and to spend their seeds. So what that basically means, okay, because you see people driving, getting over, traveling, you don't know what they're doing, you don't know what they have in place. You just put your 9 to 5 money together, you kind of start traveling, and at the end of the day, you end up getting in trouble. So what we're going to be looking at today is how to put things together so you can live those lives and still have you have a backup plan. So we look at active income and passive income. So your 9 to 5 job is not your active income. So whatever you get from your 9 to 5, you want to look for a way to pay yourself first. So how do you pay yourself first? So you know what your bill is. Actually, you don't pay we are Christian, so we pay God first and you pay yourself less.
Yes.
So after paying God, you take out your tithe, then you pay yourself. So how do you pay yourself? Your monthly expenses, your rent and everything is like $1,000. You made $3,000. After paying your tithe, you have $2,700. Out of that $2,700, you want to take at least $700 and put in your investment portfolio. That's how you pay yourself first. Then the rest, you can pay your rent and take care of other things. But you want to set that budget first, okay, every month I'm investing $700. So where can I invest? There are a couple of things that you can invest in, like stocks, crypto, real estate. So we all know, there's no investment that is riskless. So there's all these investments, but you have to do your research. So basically what I'm going to say is you have to classify it. So we have low risk investment, medium risk, and high risk. So for stocks and crypto, we all know, low risk are the blue chips. The blue chips are Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, and eBay, all these big companies. So the low risk because they're not going anywhere. Yeah, the market can crash, they'll go down, but they'll eventually come back up. So right now, we all know how the stock market is. So this is actually a good time to buy. But we all the former time when things are going up, that's when we all want to rush and buy. But the good time to buy is when things are actually going down. So once we said the low risk, you don't have to just put together $10,000 or $20,000 to buy. You can start buying small, gradually. So like I said, every week, if you want to do weekly or you want to do monthly, if it's $100 towards stock every month, every week, when you get a paycheck, you can actually do auto pay. You set it up, they take out the $100. If it's Amazon, you want to buy a Tesla, you just buy it every week. So the medium one are the the ones upcoming the new startup companies the tech company, but they're not there yet. They're still coming up. So those are medium risk because anything can happen to them. They can crash. So you don't want to put the money down. You're not ready to lose in those kind of stocks. You want to put the money down. Okay, if anything happens, I lose the money. It's fine. So just put like a little money in that, because those ones that have the chances of blowing up than you're not just going to wake up and see Amazon at $10,000 per share. But those ones, because they start small, like $2, $3, you can wake up and see that they're $50 per share, $100 per share. So you want to partake in that. And the best way to partake in that and not losing that much or losing anything is just putting something small there. And we have the ones that are high risk. So the high risk are the ones that will really make you the money. I don't believe in the theory that says that, you can't get rich overnight or you don't get rich overnight. You just have to position yourself in a way that if it happens that you get rich overnight, it happens. But it's possible. I've seen a lot of people do it, like it happens to a lot of people. And how does that happen? So we have all these stocks that they can go to zero anytime. Actually, the chances of them going to zero is higher than them blowing up. So we all know about Shiba, like the crypto. We know about Dogecoin and stuff like that. So imagine if you put like $100 in Dogecoin when it came out. You know how much you make? You make like millions of dollars. So if you put $100 is not going to kill you. If you had put $100 in Dogecoin, then like now you will swimming in money. So those things, I risk, just kind of like don't put that much. Just put something that you're ready to lose. And as a matter of fact, you can start by putting the profit, the average from your other investment. Invest them in those high risk stuff, so that way when you lose it, it won't cost you that much. And the best of them all is real estate. So you want to make sure, at least for all of us, I don't think there's a reason we shouldn't have a house or a property, because it's so easy now that you can buy a property without putting any money down, without high credit score or So all you just need to do is show that you have a job, or you show that you've been paying your rent consistently. So that's what they need to do. That's what they need to see. And when we're buying it, we don't want to be too emotional and go for our first house or our dream house. Let's just delay gratification. Let's just delay a little bit and get something that will finance our dream house basically. So what do I mean by that? There's something they call house hacking. So house hacking basically means that instead of buying a single family, you can buy like 2 to 4 multi-family. So if you buy, let's say you buy 4 families. 4 families is going to cost you, let's say it's cost like $1 million. And you're like, how am I going to get $1 million? You don't have to worry about that. Like I said, all you have to really worry about is the portion that you probably have to pay if you have to pay anything. Because this is how it works. So you buy a 4 family, and that's $1 million, and your mortgage is probably going to be like $5,000, $6,000. And 4 units is going to cost you have 3 bed, 1 bath. At least rent is really high to buy right now. It costs you like $2,000 per unit, yes. And you have 4 units, which is $8,000. Remember, your mortgage is like $6,000. So if you live in 1 unit and you rent out the 3 units, that's $6,000. So that alone is pretty young. And you have three rooms in your apartment. What do you want to do with three rooms? So you can bring in your friends. Like, okay, come on. So you have other friends that pay like $1,000, and you have extra $2,000. So now they're paying for the property, and you're making money, and you're also living there for free. So now, the money you're making for that is up to you, whatever you want to do with it. You want that Mercedes, go for it. Use that money to pay for the Mercedes. It's not from your pocket. Your 9-to-5 money, you keep in it, so you can buy another house. And then, after that, aside from owning the house, you have to be paying it down. You have tax benefit. So the tax benefit is like, okay, whatever you make from your 9-to-5, let's say you make $100,000 from your 9-to-5, you make another $50,000 or $20,000 from stocks. You make $10,000 from crypto. That's like $130,000. So the taxes from your 9-to-5 from the stocks and crypto is probably going to be like 40%, because it's called capital gain. Because whenever you invest and you sell it within a year, whatever profit you pay like 40% of the profit, which is going to be a lot of money. So the idea is not to make a lot of money, but the idea is to keep. The more you keep, the better. So as we make it, we also want to know how to keep. So the benefit of having a multi-family is, if you have a house that's worth like $1 billion, according to the government, they think the house kind of like depreciate in value every year, which is not true because it's appreciated. So because they think it depreciates, they give you an opportunity to depreciate the house for 3.7% every year. So 3.7% of $1 million you get as tax bonus every year. So you can leverage that, exactly. So you bring that back. So whatever you have in your profit you make from your 9-to-5 and profit you make from your investment, you take it out and deduct it from your property. So at the end of the day, you don't pay that much in taxes if you don't pay anything at all. So now look at that. If you now have like multiple properties, like okay, you have 3 family, and you get 3.7, 3.7, 3.7. You know how much that is? So the government will end up paying you at the end of the year after making all that money.
Yes.
You know.
Baby, so, the prayer point.
And the good thing about it, like, you know, there's a program out there now that you don't have to put any money down. It's called NACA. So for NACA, you just need to do is attend their seminar. NACA. So you attend the program, they will assign you an agent. So what the agent does, it's not your real estate agent, it's not the person that will find you property. So if you need somebody to help you with property, you can reach out to me. I sell houses. So they'll assign you an agent. So basically what the agent want to look for is, like, you know, how have you been, like, you know, your habit, basically, how have you been consistent with paying your rent? And you don't necessarily have to pay rent. If you're not paying rent, then you have to have a saving. So they want to make sure that you have a solid saving, like, okay, you're buying a house, you should at least be able to pay the mortgage of the house. So remember I said if you're buying a multi-family, which is like 2 to 4 units, they will add whatever you're making as rent to whatever you have as your own savings to qualify you. So they're not going to qualify you based on your savings alone. And there's nothing like, oh, you cannot afford to buy a $1 million house, because they believe like, okay, it's a $1 million and it's 4 units. So what is rent in this area? So those are the numbers that they will compile to qualify you. So basically all you need to do to get a job there, to get a house now, is just to attend that program. They assign you an agent, then you go through the process, and you should be able to get a house.
It's really good. It's really good info. So I have a question. So let's say now I buy stocks, right, for something that costs $2, and a year from now, it's $100 per share. Do I buy out so I can save my money before the market crash? Like that? How does it work? Like, do I buy out so that my money doesn't crash?
So that's a very good question, because like if you are a crypto investor, you will know that, like, you know, that's a very legit question, because like it happened to me. I bought some coins when they were kind of like, you know, penny, and they went up to like $500, but I didn't sell because I like, oh, this is a very good stock, it's gonna come back, and it came down like 99%. So yeah. You know, see, sometimes if you don't know, you see, when you know too much, you be like, oh, yeah. So when you're investing in stocks when you're investing in stocks and crypto, there's something we call fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So if you're doing fundamental, just checking the, like, you know, the balance sheet of the company and stuff like that. So if you are that type of investor, you catch out like, oh, $50 or $20, you want to catch out. But if you are like that person that's into, like, you know, technical analysis, you get out like, oh, yeah, there's still support. It's not gonna break the support here. It's still going. There's room to go. Before you know it, and there are a lot of things that drive stocks and crypto news. Anything can happen and it just crash overnight. So the best thing to do is to take profit. So if you buy for $2, went up to $10, you don't have to sell anything, because you don't have to sell everything rather, because there's still room for it to go. So what you do is take profit, you go for $2, take $5. Okay. So you have 100 shares, sell 50 of it, keep 50, keep the money from 50 shares. So when it goes up, you keep it little, let it keep going. And if it comes like whatever goes up, then it will come down. So when it comes down, if you really believe in that company, you buy more. Yeah, so you buy more, so when it go up again, you take, so that you can keep it that way.
Thank you, sir.
Do you guys have questions? Please.
So can you talk to us about the different platforms you can buy stocks?
That was going to be my question.
And then my second question, can you talk about IRAs, like Roth IRAs and stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So you can buy stocks from Robinhood. Actually, I won't advise Robinhood. I would say, yeah, because like that platform. So it depends. Like, you know, I don't know if you guys know what happened to GameStop with Robinhood. So when the stock was going up, they had to like shut down the platform so people cannot buy, and people that were in could not sell. So a lot of people lost money. So that kind of like, you know, messed up the integrity of the. So you want some like Weibo is very good. Weibo is a very good platform. Yeah.
Please spell it.
Webull.
Oh, Weibo. Okay, got it. Okay.
So Weibo is good. Think or Swim is very good too. So another thing about this platform is some of them, if you buy, you might not be able to sell right away. You have to wait for a couple of days. And some like Think or Swim is very good. You can buy and sell it, and like, you know, whenever you want.
So I have a question. So like, let's say I go on Weibo, right? How do I know what to buy? So like, you said something about, okay, like the ones that right now hasn't made money, that's like high risk. How do I identify? Like if I go on the platform, how do I truly
So the platform doesn't tell you what to buy. You just have to do your research and know what you want before you go on the platform. The platform just kind of like facilitate the process of buying and selling. But what you can do to know what to buy is when you can do your own research. And the platform you can leverage to do research is one is Stock Tweet. It's on Twitter. So it's like a group. So you have like professional stock traders that are just on there, always posting stuff, like and put the risk, the rationale, like, oh, this is why this is gonna go this way, this is why this is gonna go that. You don't want to trust them 100%, but at least that'll be a good start. So you see what is going on, what people are buying, what professionals are buying, and you take the ticker symbol, like the first letter of the company, and you can Google it to do your research and read about the company, and And for crypto, there are a lot of if you're on Twitter, on Snapchat, there are like a lot of guys that you can follow. They always all they do is just drop jam, like, okay, oh, this is what's going on now, this is what's going on now. And there's a coin market cap. There's a website where they kind of for crypto it's even easier, because when you're on coin market cap, you click on the search bar, the first it's gonna give you a drop down. So the crypto that you see on the list are the crypto that people are actually buying. So you just have to And another thing, you can go on Twitter and put crypto jam. So crypto jam is gonna give you the list of all the new cryptos that are coming out and what they use for. So for crypto, remember, if you're buying crypto, it's just have to be careful, do your research, don't put too much, whatever you're not ready to lose, don't put it in, but there's a room to make a lot of money. So you just have to do your research and be sure that you know what you're putting your money into.
So it sounds like I have to get on Twitter.
There's a lot to that, you just have to, it depends on what you use it for.
Okay, any questions?
So she said something about IRA and stuff.
And what
I'm not going to say anything about that because I'm not a fan of that. Because I believe there are a lot of things I can do with my money instead of just putting it in IRA or IRA and stuff. It's good, there are a lot of people that know more about that you can talk to. But for me, if I put that money, how much am I putting into IRA? If I put that money into property is going to pay me what? Cash flow. I have depreciation, I have appreciation. So another thing about property is okay, let's say you're not even taking advantage of, not leveraging this, no money down program. You want to bring out your own money. So if you want to buy a 3-family house that's $1 million, how much do you need to put down? You can put down 5%. 5% of $1 million. So if you buy $1 million, normally real estate it goes up 5% every year. So on $1 million, it goes up $50,000 every year. That's $50,000. The bank is not going to take from that. They don't have a share from that $50,000. You still own them the same amount. So the $50,000 is yours. You take the tax benefit. You take the cash flow. So, and at the end of the year, in 30 years, you have all these people that are paying it down. They're paying the mortgage for you. You don't have to worry about it. So if you have a tenant, I know of a tenant that's been living in the house for 20 years. Jeez. So the person lived in somebody's house for 20 years and paid rent consistently for 20 years.
Basically paid off the mortgage.
Yes. So that's the concept. So if you have 10 houses, they'll pay down all the 10. At the end of 30 years, you have free 30 houses.
That have already appreciated in value.
Appreciated, more equity, nothing on it.
It's amazing.
So compared to IRA, whenever you catch an IRA, you still have to pay taxes, remember? So, it's the choice is just look into it and this way. So, yeah, go ahead.
I thought you don't have to pay taxes on it until your retirement.
But so imagine you are putting all the money there when you're ready to sit back and enjoy your money, and I'll tell you that, okay, you in your mind you thought you have $1 million, but imagine you have to take out pay what? Some percent of it to taxes. And then the value of money is not going to be the same. So $1 million now, which is what you're going to make, because they're going to tell you at the time, okay, in the next 30 years, what you're going to make with that is for $2 million. But in 10 years, $2 million is not going to be what $2 million is now. Because inflation and everything must have into it. But property go up in price. Nothing. So of course, stop where real estate will crash. But when it crashes, it's definitely going to go back.
And it moves with the inflation rate.
Correct, exactly. That's another thing I was going to say. So another way to hedge against inflation is by having something like, real estate. Because if you have real estate now that inflation, rent is going up. So all you just need to do is increase your rent. So you're not going to be affected because you're selling something. So another thing is, this is a good time to have a business. If all you have is your 9 to 5, I think it's now you just have to do do a little bit more. Look for something else. If not, you end up being a victim of inflation, because inflation is real. Like, everything is going up, gas, and then, so if you're not selling anything, you don't have anything that's giving you passive income, you just end up making and spending, basically.
Makes plenty sense. So it's not to say that you can do what IRA and IRA if you want to, right? It's just understanding your options and maybe even doing a combination of.
Yep.
Right? Like you could do a combination of. Depends on where your comfort level is. Yes, yes.
So if you have a house and you want to buy the second one or the third one, your deposit will increase?
No, it won't increase. So if you have a house, actually you can leverage out your house. So instead of waiting for 30 years for the house to be free, there's something we call cash out refinance. So you can cash out the money, like some of your equity from that property, and use it as a down payment for the next house. So
how many percentage would they be looking for?
So it depends. The difference is like
because at this point you're no more a first-time home buyer.
So it doesn't actually matter. So if you're a first-time home buyer, you can do like 3.5%.
No, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah. So if you're not a first-time home buyer, you can still buy. You can still have like pay as little as 5%. But the only difference is you just have to pay PMI on it. So the PMI is like property mortgage insurance. But if you don't want to pay the PMI, that's when you have to put down like 20%.
Oh.
And there's no reason for running it from PMI, especially if it's for a rental property, because you're not the one paying it. So they're just going to calculate your tenant to be paying it. So instead of
for first or second houses,
it doesn't matter for as many houses. Just put.
Does it get 5%?
You can put 5%.
And you get a mortgage?
Correct.
Yes. Basically, I literally just found out after I got my second house that you're considered a new home buyer after the third year. So I bought my first house in 2020, and I just closed on another one, and I still got 5%. Yeah. So it's not. It's conventional. It's conventional. Yeah. So in the next 3 years, so basically you can, if you buy a house today, if you buy a house this year, I can assure you that the equity on your house will be close to double in the next 4 years. So you can actually use that equity on your first house, which is what I leveraged, the equity, because houses were on sale in 2020. Yeah, so the house that I paid peanut for is what, double. So I love IRA. I have an IRA account. I have Roth IRA. I have both of them. I have 401k and all that good stuff. But I wouldn't bank too much on them because it's just secure. You're just like, okay, you know what? This is bulletproof. Nothing's going to happen to it. So it's a good backhand to have. But if you really want to build wealth, I think real estate is the way forward. And you can always leverage it at any point in time.
So I have a question for you on IT. I don't know.
Yes.
So, if I need a company to scale up my program online, are there a company like that?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, that's all they do. They just scale your business for you or scale your program online, give you online presence. There are companies like that, a lot.
So, how do I access them?
So it depends on how. You can own one or retain one that they will work with you directly, or you can outsource, which is what most of us do. You are sourced to a company outside of the US, and they scale your business for you without any stress from your end, and it's extremely cheaper than having an in-house company.
So then, can we go into Upwork and find those types of companies? So there's a website.
There are different marketplaces where we can go. Those are just the two most trusted ones. Fiverr.
All right. So switching gears a bit. Oh, you have a question?
No.
Oh,
I have all my questions after. Like, I need apps and everything else.
Okay. So Tarifa, this question is actually for you, right?
Sure.
So someone is in a career now, or they've been in the career for a while, and they're looking to make a switch.
Mm-hmm.
What pearls or what gems do you have around how you can make such a transition and not completely destabilize yourself? Because I can't tell you how many times I talk to people and they're trying to switch careers and they're thinking I have to go back to school and go back and get a bachelor's and start all over again, and how do I make it work? What tips do you?
There are some careers that do require a bachelor's, but there are a few that don't. But I could speak for, like, with CRA changing jobs. when I graduated college, like I went to college I was a pre-med major, and I was also, I was like a double major, a psychology major. And when I came out to look for a job, I didn't do any internships, which was not good. So I recommend anybody in college do internships because that's how you get the experience. And I didn't do that. But I had worked before, so I had previous knowledge, right? I had previous experience. So what I did was when I graduated, I had to go back to my other career that I already had. I couldn't even use my current, I couldn't use my degree. So I had to just get jobs, and then I did. And then eventually I ended up in this company called Capacity, right? And they worked with Johnson & Johnson, things like that. I also learned about CRA. So I worked my job 9 to 5, and I started to study for CRA. How I started to study for CRA was there was a 24-hour Starbucks on Route 18. And I would go to the Starbucks at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would study from 4 a.m. to 8 and then drive to work. So I did that every single day. I text my family. I said, please, I'm not available for the next 60 days. I'm working on something. So I took that 60 days and I studied every single day, right? And once I studied every day, I'm like, okay, what's next? I found someone and I'm like, okay, what do I do next? And they're like, okay, well, the most difficult part is to prep for interviews. So I was like, okay, all right. And then I started prepping for interviews. And then I will call, like, my husband, him and I'm like, okay, read interview questions for me. And he would read it and we would call each other. Like, we would set up a real meeting and he'll call me on the phone and he'll just start drilling questions, right? Back and forth. And I did that. So when I was at work, right, when I was ready, I met with my mentor who was teaching me at the time. And I said, am I ready? He said, you're ready. I said, are you sure? He said, I'm ready. I said, okay. I believed him. So when he told me I was ready, although I didn't feel ready, because he told me I was ready, I was like, okay, that was the confidence I needed. And I started to apply. The first job I applied to, it's not that I didn't even get it. They said, oh, no, you did well. We're going to call you back. They never called me back. Oh, I was so discouraged. So I was so discouraged, and then fear came in like, oh, are you doing this? And then I took a step of faith. I don't recommend anybody do this. But because me and money have a really good relationship, and I needed to step out in faith because I didn't want to stay comfortable. So I quit my job. I submitted my resignation letter to my job, and I gave them 2 weeks. And I made a decision, and I applied and I interviewed to as many places as I could. And right after my last day of work, I was hired by the company. So my advice to anybody who want to switch careers is just do the work. Like, do the work. Find someone, trust the person that they're giving you the correct information. Like, sometimes you don't feel like you know what you're doing or you know the information, but just trust that this person, just trust them, because I've known people who would also who would do CRA, and I would recommend them. I'm like, listen, don't apply yet. Don't apply. Like, wait for me to give you the signal. Trust me. And then I find out they apply to all these companies. They interview with all these companies, and guess what? Your name is in their database. So now when you are truly ready, your name is in a database. They have notes on you saying how you failed this interview and why you failed this interview. And the reason why is because of haste, because you want to hurry up and make big money, So you ruin your chances. So that's why I'm saying, take your time, trust the process. And I do not recommend you quit your job. I recommend you do this along with your job. And once another job open up, that's when you switch.
Do the work.
but do the work.
And trust the process.
Trust the process.
So you said something about getting ready for interviews. And I know people that would have someone help them prepare a resume, and even sometimes even help them do interviews for a job. Yes, sir. It's happening, especially in this age of things being virtual. What does the panel have to say about that? Like, I feel like I'm not ready for a job because I don't have the experience. Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is.
How about resumes? How about on the resumes as well? How about the skills you don't actually have that are on
That's
the
what I'm
resumes?
saying. Like, making up resumes, right? Like, so I need to branch. Okay, I'm a nurse. For some reason, I want to become a tech person. I don't have tech experience. So I have somebody package my resume and reflect tech experience that I don't have. And in some instances, even help me interview for the tech job, because I wouldn't be able to speak the language if I were to show up to the interview. But I'm still the one that has to do the job at the end of the day. What do you guys think?
Well, in my industry, you'll fail fast. And the reason why I say that is because when you start, they're looking for you to run. They're not training you. You have 2 weeks to learn all of the things. They're not training you, and everybody's watching you. So if you make a mistake on an email, an IM, you make a mistake on site, or you're writing a report, you won't know. But somebody in the background will say, this person called themselves a seeker. Their people are talking, and they will build, and then next thing you know, they're gone. They're gone. So I would not recommend that, but what I will recommend is you shadow someone. So if you truly want the experience, shadow someone. I can give you an example. So my sister moved from Japan back to the US, right? And she needed a job. I have a consulting company alongside where I get clinical research contracts. So I had her work for me. I would give her tasks to do. Like, hey, I need you to do this X, Y, Z, and she would do these tasks. When she left to move to California, she was able to put me down as an employer. And she was also able to put the skill set that she learned when she was working with me. So when she got hired at the company, who did her reference? I did. When they asked her, well, let me see your tax forms, who company's name was listed on her taxes? My name. So she was legitimately an employee with me. So those are other ways you can do it as well.
So the method you just described, and then also, like we said earlier, I could intern somewhere. Right, to gain experience and be able to put that on my resume. I could volunteer somewhere and put that on my resume so they know that I have exposure to that environment as compared to
in the tech space is quite different. You can actually get away with a lot of things if you're ready to put in the work and the time. So I'll explain this in a very clear term, not to go into too much details. So when I moved into tech, like I said, I was an architect and I had zero experience in the field I was applying to. So what I will do is I'll go on Indeed and Monster.com and I'll look at the job descriptions and I'll take notes of those job descriptions and I'll come back and polish those skills. I'll take courses, I'll take classes. And this is just to kind of guide people that want to get into IT. You cannot get IT by taking a 2-month course or a 2-week bootcamp course. That's not really how it works. You set yourself up for failure. She mentioned something that is really important, and that's shadowing. So what I did is I look at the job descriptions and I know who and what place I need to shadow people. So I'll go to my friend's place and watch them work and understand what they're doing. I will get on Zoom calls and see how people are actually doing that work in real time. So even though I don't have actual experience working in a company with us, I have the skill set and I can get through the interview. And most IT jobs would definitely train you. There will be training period. But the only difference is if you don't already have that background and you don't have that shadowing experience and all that, equipment that you need to get yourself ready for that position. There are a lot of programs that I do not know how to use until I started my job. I learned on the job and I got better on the job, but then I was ready to put in the work. So it doesn't really matter if you don't have all the skills that is needed. If you're motivated enough, you can come on and you can actually, get better. And most companies are not hiring you for your skills. I'm not sure about any other industry, but most IT companies will hire you based on your drive, the drive you have for the job. Are you willing to catch up? Are you willing to, get this and do this how we do it here? Of course, the skills are important, the basic skills, your college degree and all that technicalities are important, but most companies will hire you with or without the skills and are ready to train you if you have the drive.
Awesome. I have 2 more questions and then we'll round up this session. How can I best maximize the current job market to my advantage? So right now we're in a job market where work that we never thought could go remote is now virtual, right? Like, what should I be doing in this season in order to pace myself, to position myself for even greater success going forward? What tips do you guys have?
So I would say it would be a great opportunity to start working on your side business or side hustle.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said earlier, one source of income is very close, it's too close to none. Like, if the job is not yours, the company is not yours, the business is not yours, anything can happen anytime. And I think we've far past the age and time whereby you get fired and things get messed up or so that's why we have to position ourselves before, it might happen, yeah, but if you were positioned when it happens, it's not even going to eat you that much. So what we can do is there are a lot of things you can do by start a business. What kind of business you can start? There are a lot of business. There are businesses that you can start without money out of pocket, and there's some business that you can do with little money, and some you can do with you need a lot of money to do. It just depends on what you're looking at. What I would suggest is just start with something small, like what I said earlier on, the selling on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So all you need to do is just literally just kind of go to the store, scan some product, and see what it's selling for in the store. Compare the price, buy it, ship it down to Amazon. So there are a lot of ways you can do that. You don't have to spend your money to do it. So I'm sure we all have a credit card here. And the thing about credit card is if you have a credit card, you have a $10,000 credit card. A lot of us have money on the credit card that we're not using, we're not spending. And when I say spending, I don't mean that buying a car or going on a trip with a credit card. But what I mean by spending is you have a $10,000 card. If you spend your $10,000, let's say your statement date is 4th of every month. Today is 14. So let's say your statement is 14 every month of every month, and this is January. If you spend money on your account today the 14th, you won't have to pay it back until the 14th of March, no 14th of February, because your statement day you have almost 2 months before you have to pay back. Correct. So a lot of people always think you have to pay before the 14th of next month. That's not your statement day. So whatever your statement day is, if you spend the money, then you have almost 60 days before you pay back. So imagine, you now buy something from, let's say, Walgreens, something that's sold for $2. You bought it, and you sell it for $15 or $10 on Amazon. And you sell 20 of that in a day, 50 of that in a day. So another thing about it is you don't just buy and put it on Amazon and sit back. You have to advertise it, because your money is actually into advertisement. So how do you advertise? You can do organic advertisement. You don't have to spend for an advert. So I'm sure we'll have Snapchat, TikTok, and all this stuff. So all you need to do is just make a video and you post on TikTok consistently. So at least you want to post at least minimum of 5 times a day. So you post in the morning, you post in the afternoon at 12, you post at 5, and you post at 12 a.m. So that's the target. What you just need to do, make sure you have your link in the your landing page on your ad. So when you post it, whoever is watching it, if they're interested, you just click on your landing page, and they can buy from you. So if it's that you shoot the content yourself, or you hire somebody to do it. So like we said, Upwork, Fiverr, you send the product to them, they'll make a nice video for you. And they make a video that they can use on Instagram, use on Snapchat, and then you post it consistently. And before you know it, that can become a business that you won't have to go to your 9 to 5 anymore.
And you don't have to put your face on it.
That's what
I
I was
have a
gonna
couple of
ask.
products that
Yeah.
I'm selling and nobody knows. And you probably have bought my product here and you don't know. There are influencers that I use on Fiverr. They will make content. It's called user-generated content. They will make videos and they'll post it on it. And I pay them and they promote the product and they sell it. And I'm in no way associated with that product, but I'm still earning from those products. So yeah, it's really, so I know some of us, our faces change when they say post 5 times, 7 times a day.
Yeah.
You're totally out of it. The only thing you find on my Instagram is guitars. You won't find any product that I sell there because I would not sell it. I do not know how to sell it. Combs or shirts, I would not sell them, but I know people that can sell them and they don't even know what I look like. And so having a side business right now is as easy as just thinking about it. And you don't even have to put your face on it, basically, if you don't want to.
Amazing. My advice is that you can, if you're working remotely, you can gain another skill as well. So, for instance, if I want to get promoted in my company, I just look to see, what skill do I need to know? Because more than likely that skill isn't a degree. But if it's something that it takes me 6 or 8 to 12 weeks and I just have to learn it or take a certification, I would take that time, study that, and now I promote myself. I don't have to wait to be promoted. I promote myself by learning another skill on top of that in my industry.
That's actually a nice segue into the last question, because the last question was going to be that I'm working my 9 to 5, but I'm looking for professional growth and development. How can I position myself in a way where I will become an ideal candidate when opportunities come up? So I think you just touched on one part of it. What advice do you guys have?
So this might be funny right now, but my current position at my job, we're training. It's gonna get obliterated in the next 10 years. My position will not exist anymore. There'll be an AI doing my job, and we are the one training the AI. So basically, I'm writing codes every day. I'm working with people that are writing codes. We're doing machine learning every day to train a computer that would do what I do 9 to 5. So what's that telling me? Get ready for what's coming next. And so I'm already positioning myself to a place where I become that guy behind that machine that's going to take my job. So while he's taking the old job, I'm ready to take his own job. So it's really funny, but it's
the truth.
The tech space, it's fast paced. You might have something today and it's not there tomorrow. It doesn't work. You can ask people that have applications that were working back in the days and see that they're not working anymore. And it's very fast. It's very volatile. So you just gotta stay in the space, keep looking for things. Like she said, take courses, take trainings. The future is cloud now, and I'm gearing towards that as well. If you know, you know. Cloud is the future. So my company is currently migrating from where we are into the cloud as well. So just want to position yourself into that place. So when the change comes, even when there's a recession, you change. 2020 taught us a lot of things. It means you lose jobs and jobs are getting created. And that's always history. That's always how it happens. There will always be jobs. It might just switch from one industry to another. So we just want to position ourselves in a place where if things happen and things change, we're ready to take that change. And it's so easy. All you need is a laptop.
That's good. Very good. Did you want to
they said it all, but what I'm going to have is be transparent. And then what I mean by that is you don't want to be one of those people that do eye service like, oh, when I see my first time start working. People are watching. Trust me. Even your junior colleagues are watching them, like, you know. So if you're that type of person, I want to like, okay, so when I see my manager that, I will start doing things.
Oh, yes.
You're wasting your time. Because sincerely, even the Bible says, like, as a man thinking in his heart. So even if you think you're deceiving your manager, you're deceiving yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you're deceiving yourself, there's no way you get the results you desire. Remember? So be sincere to yourself. And another thing is, that thing that you think you're good at, there are a lot of other people that are better than you in it. So it will come to a time, it will come to like, you know, the game of like, okay, what do I know, or who is speaking for me? And how can you leverage that? The best way to leverage that is to honor your boss, whoever your boss is. Yes. Because we're in this age and era that people always like, okay, you're the boss, what does that mean? I can't be kissing anybody's ass or stuff like that. please be mindful, like, and be intentional about it. Like give respect to whoever respect is due, and trust me, as little as that sound, you can take it to places.
I just want to add to that, because what he's saying is you need a sponsor. You need somebody to take your name into the room, you know? So how do you get people to take your name in the room? It's what he said, you have to be transparent. You have to be genuine. Like, you have to come in. So if somebody's over you, and an example of that, if someone is over you, you help them look good. Because if you help them look good, when a position open up, they're gonna put your name in the room. That's it. And that has happened to me, and I've been promoted 4 times because I made other people look good.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I grew in my company in less than 2 years just because I was a contractor. And at some time I became a full-time employee. They were not hiring everybody. But once there was a spot for a full-time employee, I usually get off work at 5, but if you come to my office, I work at 7 p.m. because I'm trying to make sure all my notes are tidy and I'm doing more than I'm supposed to do. So doing bare minimum, just finding your way around might not set you up for that success that you want to put in the extra work. I don't work too hard, but I do what I have to do when I have to do it and the way it has to be done. And like he said, people are watching. And it's going to be obvious that you're not doing what you should do. But if you do what you want to do and how you want to do it on time, when you ought to do it, people will see it and it's going to happen. And you're not just doing it so when an opportunity comes, they're going to put you there. That's not why you're doing it. You're just doing your job right. And it's going to happen. We get rewarded. And like the Bible says, God is reward of those that diligently seek Him. So if you do your job diligently, you get rewarded.
Amazing. Put your hands together for them. This is truly, truly amazing. Thank you all so much. I learned so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. Gio, we're going to transition. Yeah. And I think we can just, yes, I think we'll just do this thing.
I think I need help.
Praise the
Lord. Okay.
All right. So we're switching gears a bit. And now we just want to talk about distilling relationship myths, right? And there are all kinds of views out there around what relationship truly means, what marriage should really look like, right? And we just want to talk about a few of those things. So, Gio, when we talk about submission, submission is a very powerful and yet tricky word.
Yeah.
Right? But the Bible is very clear that the woman needs to submit. What does that really mean? And in marriage, is submission truly unilateral?
Okay. I think the first thing we need to understand is that when you are choosing a partner, you should always think about how long you want the marriage to last. Because in this age and time, I believe that a lot of people get married for the fun of the wedding day. To show clothes, to show people that are married, and to enjoy the fun. Because divorce is now very common. And our generation, especially the new generation, don't even feel there's anything wrong with it. Even though the Bible is clear that I hate divorce. So the first thing is that when you're choosing your partner, knowing surely that that man is going to be the father of your born children. And that person is going to be one that will shape the life of your children. A lot of young people are more concerned about the looks of somebody they want to marry than the acts of that person and the mindset of that person. So they want to show off their life partner and the friends go, wow. And that's all. So, because I'm trying to come from the foundation, because the Bible says the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? If I'm choosing a girl It's not going to be a girl forever. It's going to be my wife. It's going to be the mother of my children. And so many values need to be taken into consideration before you say this is the person I want. Now, coming to submission, I believe couples, husband and wife, are supposed to be a partner, not a boss and a servant relationship. A lot of people try to parent their wife or husband instead of partnering with them. So she or she book everything, pick it. That's not how to do it. I'm not your son, you are training. I'm your partner. I shouldn't tell my wife what to do. I should advise what to do. Are you with me? Now, a lot of us are product of how we were raised. A lot of us are product of other generation, which is different from our time, our season. So it's very, very important to look at that. Let's come back to submission from the Word of God. The Bible says, wife, submit to your husband. And when you look at the verse that follows, it says, submit to one another. Now, the first thing about submission is to know that the person that is your husband is a leader of the team. And if a man don't feel like, because I'm leading this team, I'm superior. In a workplace, they can pick 4 people to do a project. They pick somebody to be the leader of the team. Sometimes it's not because it's very superior or it's just that they pick you to lead the team. And if you really think that marriage is about your weakness, my strength, your strength, my weakness, we can combine the two together. I will never say my success today is based on my intelligence, on what I know, or it's about combining both of us. For me, if it's only the way I think of what I know, our children will never turn the way they are today. Because I can be too playful sometimes. So God will always look at you and say, oh, what you have is good, but let me bring you somebody that will be a bit different from you. In fact, why we call it marriage? Because two things that are not the same are brought together. That's what they call what? Marriage. You wed them, you marry things that are different from each other. Everybody has their values, their strengths, their weaknesses. And so God will look at the strength of this one, look at the strength of this one to marry them together. So the moment we have that understanding that my partner, my wife, my husband is my partner, submission won't be a problem. What I've seen about ladies is that they can submit to anybody that loves them. Are you with me? I've seen I've seen women that are very, very intelligent, they have values, but because they have seen love, they just submit everything. I mean, the one lady I went as well as go and borrow money from a cooperative society to just give to this guy that squandered the money. In the name of what? Submission. So I think that we should be very careful the way that word is used. And we should never get carried away by what people are saying. We should look at the person we are dealing with. I counsel ladies about opening up all their finance to somebody you want to marry until you have seen that person is better than you in that area. But I've seen the life of many people get run down because in the name of submission, all your life saving you put in the hand of a man that squandered it. I don't think that is sense. I don't think that is very important because things are not the way it should be. I also think that in choosing a partner, there are certain things you must look for. I think looks should be the last, not the first. Because if you want to hire me in your office and you're looking at my dressing without looking at my brain, what I can offer, I don't think my look will do the work. Am I right? So, first thing I'm thinking about, this person will be the father of my children, the mother of my born children. What are the values inside this person? What are the things he can achieve with his life? I think these are some of those things young people should be thinking about. Because honestly, if you marry Miss Ward today, he doesn't continue to trick you or freak you, or I don't know the best English to use now. Trick you, excite you the way it will be in the beginning. Am I right? So we need to look into the way we started. Who is this person? Can I submit my destiny to this person? I mean, I pity ladies because you're going to change your last name to somebody. Am I right? And that's your identity that is changing. And that also means so many things. So submission should be like, respect this man as your husband, value him, but before you put all your life in his hand in the name of submission, you need to check things out. Very important. Don't even marry a potential. Marry someone that is already practicing where he's going. Am I right? He's already practicing where he's going. He's already doing things that I can now start shaking your head. Now, people have made mistakes in the past, but this generation don't have a reason to make any mistake anymore. And if you are married right now, it's never too late to call yourself back and say, let's check this relationship. Where are we going? What's going to happen to our children? Because every day your decision determines your destiny. And every decision you are making is going to be affecting where you are going. I also think that one of my beliefs is that the background you are coming from, the family that brought you out, really affect our life a lot. And that's why you look before you what? You live. So, I don't know whether I made that point.
Yes. Any questions? We're good? Okay. So, I think many of us kind of like understand what submission looks like from the angle of a woman submitting to a man, right? What does submission look like? You said the Bible first ends with submit therefore one to another.
Yeah.
What does submission look like on the side of the male without making it look like his ego is being left on the table?
Yeah. So submission to male means that you respect me in most of your decisions. I hope you know men don't really know love with no respect. So when a man say, that lady love me a lot, what it means that is she respects me a lot. That's the other way to explain it. Because for a man, our ego is there, and everything you are doing that look like I don't matter to you. You are living like independent, you don't need me. It affects me a lot. Are you with me?
You want to be needed.
Yes.
What if I'm independent?
And you don't need me. I don't need you to marry you. We don't need to come together. So if you
can we stay there for a minute? Because I think sometimes, we just talked about developing myself, making my own money. So I think sometimes as a female, you're standing on your 2 feet, you're doing well for yourself.
Yes.
And then now you come into a marriage. Are we saying you're supposed to just forget who you are and everything you built to this point because you want to stay in a marriage?
So sometimes if you're an alpha female, you know what I mean? Someone that has a very strong personality, you design your life and you are moving. Of course, the person that you'll be attracted to will be a male that needed such personality to complement each other. You won't have that problem because you won't say, if you talk to him, you say, let my wife come. Have you met men like that? Yes. Huh? That thing what to do. I'll talk to my wife, I get back to you. There are men like that. Because the moment God knows you has wired you or built you like this, that's the kind of man you will actually attract. You want to attract a man that is your personality, fire for fire. No. So it's not even going to be a problem, because even when you think that I'm married now, I want to relax, you can't even relax, because the man that you are getting married will always be giving you more. What you do about this? You're a man, figure it out, but you have more personality than me that can do that. That won't be a problem. The problem is to show him respect. Even when you know where you are going, you still carry him along. I think I want to do this. What do you think? Oh, men feel like, oh, I need me. There's something about men. We just feel like, oh, I'm needed. So it will now give you some idea. In fact, some of the idea it may give you may not even make some sense. But you still need a way to manage it as if it's very important. Are you with me? That is the way. A man will quickly, you'll be running and there no trouble. But when you show a man that, oh boy, what are you saying? I mean, your attitude and countenance is saying that what is telling you is low. So you start feeling like, okay, you know all, you don't need me, okay? And there will be a problem.
So it's not so much losing who I am, but bringing my power under.
Exactly. That's why they call it submission. I have a mission, I put it under authority. I just respect the man's authority. It does not necessarily mean that you are low, it's making you to feel low, but you just want him to know that I bear your name now, I bear your last name now. You are the father of my children, you are important. Carry me along in what you are doing. That's what matters. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just carry me along. Just make me important. Show me that you respect me. But if you are taking all your decisions, everything you want to do, you're already planning it. So sometimes you feel like, okay, I'll wait for you and see where you go.
How far you can go without me.
Because even now, I'm married up to something years. Sometimes my wife has her own thing, her project, her business, and she wants to run it by herself. And I've seen where it's going to. I can see that this is not going to work. But I don't like to interfere. I'll allow her to be running. What they just say, hey, you don't even get involved in this. Hey, this guy in the shop is doing this. I said, oh, you didn't let me know when you are doing it. Hey, man, I tell you everything. I'm not saying you tell me everything. Do you know what I'm saying? That's exactly how a man feels. If you don't behave like I'm important, I'm carrying me along. We have this ego. It's very huge in a man. But there's a way you can manage it. Are you with me? Just let men feel needed. You see, most independent ladies that have been built, I suspect a lady getting married very early in life is the best. That when you already build your life, build your career, you have a way of running your life. Now a man is now coming to your life. Even for you to be asked, telling you everything, you are not used to it anymore. You feel like, oh God, this is a problem. But the way it works is that you need to understand that man needs you to validate being a man. Because sometimes we see a man with ego, but inside that ego is a lot of insecurity. I will not deceive you. Men have their insecurity as much as women have their insecurity. But the way it works for men is just make me feel in it. That's all. I've seen a lot of women running homes, running things, because the woman just understands the secrets of getting that man to go along. That's what it's all about.
We have a question.
Is there any man that can attest to what I'm saying? Sylvester, yes.
Question in the back. Sabiodun, do you still have your question?
Yeah, I wanted to say, so I don't know if, so considering what Jill just said, where do we put the rising number of men who are now asking what a woman brings to the table? Does she have her own money? Does she have her own this? Does she have her own that? Because it doesn't look like they need a woman who's going to submit to them anymore. It looks like they're looking for a 50-50, like a roommate. Yeah. That's what it looks like. So I don't know if, I believe the number of single women are a bit confused. So we know the strategy that Gio is saying works, but will it work on a man who is asking for this?
Can I take a step back? So actually, when I hear those questions, what does this woman bring to the table? I think what the man is saying is, I also don't want a woman that will be a liability.
Exactly.
right? So it's not so much like I want you not to need me and be your own person, but I also want to know that I will be better because you came into my life.
Yes.
And not so much coming in with, because some ladies have this ideology, and actually, I think what drove this trend that we're seeing now is the trend that precedes it, which is this trend of women are like, I just want a man that will take care of me.
Exactly.
And take care of all of my needs. And I don't want to have to worry and have to work. And if you can't take care of me, you're not a man. But that's not really the case. When we come together, we build a life together. So I think each of us needs to understand that I need to be able to identify what I've been put here on earth to do. And while I'm pursuing my purpose and pursuing why God put me here, by the time a life partner comes, they become a complement. As compared to somebody that comes into your life and has nothing, they come with nothing. They have no vision. Their only vision is to spend money. How is that going to work?
Look good.
Right, and to look, that's all that matters. It's nothing else. You know, there's no interest in, this is what the guy is doing. How can I support what you're doing and make it better? This is what the woman is doing. How can I support and make it better? Right? It's finding that balance and everybody just finding themselves. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Gia, I want to segue a bit. Let's talk about roles in the home.
Yes.
The role of the man, the role of the female.
Yeah.
Traditionally, the male was supposed to bring in the bread.
Yeah.
And the woman was supposed to cook, clean, pop out babies.
That was old school.
That's what I'm saying, traditionally.
Yes.
How do we balance in this current society we are in, right? How things have evolved
Over the years.
over the years. How do we take the new age and still not lose the core of biblical tradition and precepts?
Okay. I think when I was getting married, about 32 years ago, I got married very early. Don't look at me like that. I'm not as, I know man as you think. I got married very early, my 20s. So,
that's actually another issue, but we'll leave that.
So, the mindset, the way I was wired, I was raised, the tradition was I have to pay almost 70 to 90% of the bills, if not hundreds. So my wife's work is to make sure I get food, raise the baby, raise the children, bring the baby out, raise that baby a lot to some extent before I start participating. That was the tradition. So that was the tradition. But it was a division of labor. That was what made marriage of those days successful. So I need food. I need somebody that will be the mother of the children. So even when I make all my money is still useless when it's not bringing our role. But things have changed now. Now the society of today, I send my daughter to go to university. Am I right? So she has a first degree, master's. So I will now want a man that will make her a housewife and a baby factory. What kind of nonsense is that? So I will want my daughter getting married to a man where both of them are making money, they are building their career. But at the same time, my daughter must know that she needs to play more role in taking care of children first, because some things are gender specific. That's what I believe. I believe something are gender specific. I believe that when we come to the house, fixing car, learning the more, getting some things done, is male. I believe that's a male role. I didn't see it written somewhere, but I think that's more of a male role. The role of a man. Am I right? Sometimes discipline of children in a very better way could be more of a male, because sometimes mother's heart, mother's love, mother's emotion may not want to take some steps. That's the way I see it. But when it comes to area of cooking in the house, you can share the role. But I think today's woman should see it more like my role. Because the man will also do some other things that are not, is not going to, I mean, I would expect my wife to be calling mechanic, fixing cars, and fixing all those things. I think a man should handle all those things. Why the woman handle this area?
Yeah, but some of the arguments I've heard from our youth, right, is that how frequently do you fix a car?
Right.
How often do you mow the lawn? Right. Cooking is 3 square meals a day. Cleaning is constant.
So I don't think that.
It almost feels like, praise God. So it almost feels, praise the Lord. Praise the I don't think I'm here supporting you. So it almost feels like
there's too much
the woman is doing more than the man is doing, right? Like if the woman goes to work like the man does, why is she still expected to cook, clean, and all these things? And the things he has to do that are gender specific don't happen multiple times in a day.
Especially when they're making income together.
So I think they can share that role. They can share the role. I feel if my wife is bringing money and I'm bringing money, and our money is also supporting the house a lot, I think I will share the role of cooking towards my wife to support. So, because if you love your wife, let me say this, if you love your wife, you don't want to see her suffering. Are you with me? So, in a situation where I'm a lazy man, don't want to cook, I will always look for a way the food must be there. If I cannot cook it. Because I don't want to see her go from work tired and still go to the kitchen and do other things. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. So, I want to speak from a perspective of being a female.
Yes. So what do you expect?
And being a female that works.
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
Career women also.
I still believe in the Proverbs 31 woman. I feel like that's God's design. And sometimes as Christians, as times and seasons change, we start to fall into this error of embracing aspects of God's word and not embracing all of it. So being a daughter of God, the way I understand it is I'm the home keeper, which means I should take pride and joy in feeding my family. I should take pride and joy in knowing that my family has what they need from a perspective of my house is conducive to living. People come home and they have food to eat. Now, I think where it becomes an issue is if you have a man that becomes abusive of that.
Exactly.
Right? Where maybe I'm not feeling up to cooking today and then it becomes an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. At that point, if you really wanted to eat freshly cooked meal, you can step in or we can order, right? But then the balance is, as a woman, I should not be expecting that because I cooked on Monday, my husband must cook on Tuesday. Because I think that's the error we make in today's time, where we think because I cooked today, you need to cook tomorrow. We need to share it 50-50. That's not the Bible. The Bible says the woman that rises up early and takes care of her house and feeds her family, it says actually she's a virtuous woman. So if we look at it through the eyes of God, that's what God expects. Does that mean I need to be a slave and overburden myself? Absolutely not. And now going back to what Gio said earlier, because my husband loves me, if I look like I'm tired or I'm overexerting, he's the one that will say, babe, it's not that serious. It's okay. You don't have to cook. Relax. We'll eat whatever is there, right? Or let's order something in because he cares about me. Right. So I think the way we make the mistake is this demanding. And once you start demanding and imposing upon a man that he must cook, he must clean, he must this, something about his ego tells him he has to defend himself.
Exactly.
And if your husband comes to the point where he's trying to protect his manhood and not feel violated, right? Then even the things he would have offered to do for you, he would offer to do it. Because he's trying to prove a point. I don't know if that makes sense.
Not out of love now.
Right, he's trying to prove a point. So he just would like, I'm shutting it down. I'm not going to do it. I'm the man. Like, what do you mean? I should cook, I should clean, I should do this. But if I do my part and I do it with grace and I do it with joy and I do it with love and we understand each other in moments where I can't tell you how many times where I'm thinking, oh God, I need to wash the bathroom. And then I wake up and my husband has done it already. I didn't have to ask him. But like when I see it, I wasn't expecting it. So I'm so excited and I'm thanking profusely as though they just bought me a Bentley. Because I wasn't expecting it, but I value it. I don't know if that makes sense. But if I walk around and say, the bathroom wasn't washed yesterday, and you were home, and you didn't wash the bathroom, what were you doing all day? Like, what? Okay. Even to lift a cup, you just close the chapter. He would not be willing to do that for you. Right? So do your part. Do with grace, do with love. Bible says we should live with each other with understanding. In moments where I can't because physically I'm just not able to, because we built that level of relationship, it's okay. Right? It's not, as a woman, I shouldn't feel like I'm doing chore because I'm cooking. I actually feel good when my husband eats my food and say, babe, this is nice. I'm like, It brings me pleasure. It brings me joy. Right?
That's exactly
yeah, it brings me pleasure and joy. So it shouldn't feel like work. Like stuff that I have to do. I don't know.
So let me also say something.
Yes, sir. And then
we'll
take the
from the Bible perspective, the Bible says in 1 Timothy, I believe, chapter 5, that whosoever will not something like a man providing for the
he's an infidel.
He's an infidel.
Yeah.
So he used the word is HIS, which means a man. So the moment I see that my wife is bringing income and is supporting the family, every man that is really, really well raised will value that. Will not see like, if you see a man that feel like you are paying the mortgage, paying everything, and he's just feeling like he's fine, that's not a man. Something is wrong.
Fundamentally wrong.
Something is wrong. You remember that language? So, the same way when your husband is cooking, cleaning the house, and you just feel like it's your right, you should do it. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
So it should be something we do out of love for each other, understanding that we are one. So in my own family, in my own life, the way we were raised, my wife does all the cooking, but at the time in our life, we started getting more blessed. We started having.
That's Africa.
That's
Africa.
So.
No, as in hiring help.
Yeah.
It's more conducive in Africa.
I know. So at that time, we were able to hire help, have a cook and all that, so that she can have all the, not stressed. I remember when we moved in here last year or the other year, and there's nobody to cook. It was a stress on both of us. We quarreled because I want to eat food 3 times, and I've not been inside the kitchen for over 30 years. So maybe my wife went out and said, "Hello, I can't come now. Help yourself." Help myself. How do I help myself? It became a fight, a discussion, a quarrel, until our daughter said to me, "There's what they call DoorDash." So the day the cooking is not happening, DoorDash take over. And that settles so many things. But I will not deceive you. I learned that, a man really needs to support here. You need to cook, you need to see it as part of you. But because it wasn't part of me over the years, learning it here was a big deal. I remember the first time I got the power to travel home. And I just, as soon as I entered, 30 minutes, 15 minutes after, my cook wheeled the food. Oh my God, I love it. I said, wow. Thank you. I was thinking I didn't know what I'm saying. I have someone that would, even some of my vitamins I'm supposed to take, is served along with the food, and he's saying, Daddy, you need to take this. I say, yes. I mean, it was beautiful. I enjoy it. So we are back now.
Find the balance.
That is it.
Find the balance. We have a question from Nevis and then we go to Sharon. Nevis, you have a question?
That was like a while ago, but then speaking about what you spoke about earlier on, when do you have that conversation to say, okay, babe, thank you. When do you have that conversation to say, okay, babe, I'm coming back from Lolade, can you take over the kitchen? Is this before you guys get married? Because we all know that most times when people get married, it's like there's a switch that's been flipped, and then there's that change. So when they happen to change, is there a way to like correct it without arguing, which I don't think, but I mean, is there like a good way to go about something like that?
Yeah, so like there are times that I'm coming back from work late, right? But I can honestly tell you, I've never called my husband and said, I'm coming back from work late to take over the kitchen. Like, no. I'm being honest. And we've been married 20 years.
Yeah.
Thank God. It's never happened. I would say I'm coming home late. I'm running late. Okay, what time do you think you'll be back? Maybe like 8:30-ish before my train gets there. And then it's like, okay, I can say something like, oh, what would we have for dinner? Right? And when I say, what would we have for dinner? Then we're both brainstorming. Like, okay, we have this in the fridge, we have this, okay, maybe we can work with that. Or actually, no, don't worry, honey, I'll order something in. We discuss it in a way where it's not like I'm saying, go and cook, right? I can honestly even tell you that there are times where, because when I shop for like meats and peppers and stuff, I shop in bulk, and I like pieces them up and put them in the freezer. There are times maybe I'm leaving home in the morning, really early, like 7 a.m., and I have a pack of frozen meat out that I want to cook when I come back. And that happens now to be a day that I did not predict I would be late, but I'm running late. I don't even need to ask my husband. He will help me clean the meat. I don't need to ask him. He will just do it. And if I get home and it's still sitting there, I'm not upset. I don't feel like you were home and you didn't do it. It's fine. If I'm too tired to clean it in the same day, I'll put it in a bowl and put it in the fridge. I'll clean it tomorrow. It's not a big deal. So I think we should come out of that thing of this person must do this and that person must do that in order for me to feel loved and valued. Because it's not true. If we couldn't cook anything, we'll fry eggs and eat bread and egg and we'll go to bed. It's not a big deal, right? We'll eat cereal and we'll go to bed. It's not a big deal. It's having that understanding as compared to you did this, almost like a quota. If you don't do this, then I won't do this, or I did this, now you have to do this. Please don't go in with that mindset, because it will trip you up. Just do you. Be friends. Work it out. And Cheka, I'm not sure what your question is. So we're good? All right. But I want to now segue into the types of relationships in marriage.
You want to
Oh, okay. James, you have a question? Yeah. Okay, please go.
So my question is this. So I know you spoke about values and culture. When it comes to kids, and you have two parents who are actually working, they have good careers and always busy. Like, how do you who would you put and the woman is supposed to be the strongest person to hold the home. If that's my opinion, that's how I see it. How would you say, to implicate those values into the kids? Who would be playing a major role in the kids' life, or how does it work? If both parents are actually having a good career, barely have time for the kids,
I think it's a joint effort.
They have to do it together, but I think they need to sit down and talk about the way they want to raise the kids. I think somebody that can get a lesser role in career world should opt to take care of the kid more, because you are making the money together for a common purpose. I believe that couples' money should be a commonwealth of the whole, not my money. That something like that should not be even heard or seen, because every couple that I meet now, I don't see it as my money. I see it as a family money. So it's somebody that have more time. Because in our own family, my wife was the one that was more into raising the kids in the early parts. We are in ministry. She wasn't even involved in full ministry when we started. It was more like, I want to face the children and raise them up. And she did well. So, and I see that she's doing it. Every couple I'm making, we own it together. Are you with me? There are few things that our own family background is different from my own family background, and we're able to come to the point of switching and adapting to each other in many ways. I remember a time I feel our kids need to learn how to run their life by themselves. Let me use our first daughter as an example. There was a time she used to go to school, secondary school, as a driver that will always take her there. At the time, I just feel like I have an idea that I want these children to know how to go by bus by themselves. It was an idea. And I saw that idea with one of my older cousins that the girl was almost 18 and she cannot even go out by herself. Because they use driver, all those things to spoil them. And I said, what happened the day there is no car? How do these people run? So I just said, for the next 1 or 2 weeks, you're not going to have a driver. Somebody will take you through the bus part. And by the time you try it 2 times, you will know it. My wife didn't like the idea. She said, no. He has to. I said, no. He said, one day there's no car. I said, look at this. Our senior cousin, see how the child was almost 19 and she cannot still run her life. And that was how my daughter was taken through bus for 2 times. And she did it by herself some days. And I remember there were times there was there was an accident. My wife said, this thing we are doing. I said, there is nothing that will happen to them. Some of them grew up in a very hard condition, will never die. And those things are the things that build us and make us better. But you see, a lot of time in our new generation, we don't want our children to go to what we went through. But what we went through is what makes us better. Are you with me? Because we give them everything they need in life, it will destroy their future for them. So, I think you need to come to a balance. That's why you are one. You need to sit down and design those things. I also think there are many discussions which will happen during courtship. How are we going to manage our fund? Are we going to have many children? How are we going to when I get annoyed and I'm mad, how are we going to react? Because these are things we don't discuss. And we now find ourselves in woe. And you see, it's very difficult for couples to sit down and talk for 30 minutes without shouting. Very difficult. I think every other person can correct me easily and I won't get annoyed. But if my wife wants to correct me, she has to be thinking, how am I going to put this thing? Am I right? The same thing with husband. So, many things can be done, can be explained, can be designed before you get into that marriage. Because after waiting day, something shifts in your brain that make you get, why is your shoe here? Why should it not be here? It happens a lot. But if that question is asked before we get married, I will say, I like my shoe here. There's a way you feel a bit okay at that time, but the moment after the wedding is done, and honeymoon has been done, something go wrong. So, this thing is not clean. Do you use this place? I use it. There's a defensive. I don't know any couple, you know what I'm talking about? That defensive is always there. It's like, when you want to ask a question, say, what are you coming to? What is it all about? So, a lot of time, it happens a lot. But sometimes, in our own marriage, I try to tone things down. I'm very humorous by nature, so I will make sure my wife laughs every day. I'm going to say something that will make everything will calm down. But it's not every time. Sometimes my ego as a man is there. I start shouting, I'm raking, I'm fighting. I'm just be looking at me. It's okay. when the thing come down, why are you always shouting all about? I don't even know. I have to shout, sometimes. So it happened like that. Because marriage is not like dating. Dating is sweet, and it's sweeter. But when marriage really happened, you are in to really know what you are talking about.
Let's talk about the types of relationship in marriage.
Okay.
During like courtship, we're romantically attracted to each other.
Yes.
Once we get married, are there other types of relationship or affection we need besides romantic attraction?
Okay. Like,
is there a room for friendship? Is there a room for, sometimes even like transactional kind of stuff, right? Like, is romance enough?
I think the romance area depend on the temperament of both of you also, because if one of you is a sanguine, they are always wanting continuous romance. But if both of you are choleric, they are always very transactional with everything they do. So a choleric will not call you or talk to you if there is no reason. But a sanguine can just want to talk to you without a reason, because it's a temperament thing. Are you with me? So, but the thing is that you always need to be romantic continually in marriage, especially when both of you are believers and you don't have any other person you are looking at than both each other. Are you with me? That make it easy. That make it good. That's why if both of you are born again and you are Christian, Holy Spirit will better be dwelling in both of you. Because the first thing that comes to a man's mind, African mind especially, is that raised in Africa is like, so now I'm going to be with this girl for the rest of my life. In fact, there's what they call post-nuptial depression in man.
It's not true.
Like, hey, for the rest of my life. The man will feel depressed, so it's only you have been looking at. It takes a lot of work of Holy Spirit. I will not deceive you. You know why? You ask why. Why should a man be thinking that way? Well, that's the way we find it. Especially, when you are from African setting, raised in Africa, Africa allowed multiple marriage. You know that?
Well,
polygamy is allowed.
It allows a man to marry multiple women,
yes,
but not a woman to marry multiple women.
I mean, it's not part of the show. Because you will see African kings having 5 wives, and it's legit, it's legal. I'm sure if you are from Africa, especially if you are from Nigeria, where I come from, you see a king having 13 wives. I mean, you see a chief that has money having 3-4 wives. That thing is just normal in the blood of most African men. Are you with me? So that is why when a man first got married, even though he's a Christian born again, a tongue talker, the first is, oh, I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life. That thing creates something until the Holy Spirit take over and say, oh boy, adjust yourself straight. Look straight. Don't look beyond this. So a woman needs to now impress more in the area of how you take care of yourself and make yourself more attractive continually, because men look at what? Outward appearance. So romantic relationship must be there, but there are other relationships like you must know that you are a partner now. You are doing it together. You are now a friend. You don't have any other friend. This is your best friend, whether you like it or not. And you must make yourself friendly at all times. Because the moment you slack, devil will preach to the other side. Are you with me? Devil is always at one side. He's hiding there. He's just looking for opportunity. So, There is no man in this world, let me tell you, whether born again, whether pastors, whether speaking in tongues, that will not see other men, other lady walking, and something will not say, look. You first look before you don't look. Are you with me? So, and you know, there are so many people outside there who is looking for a way to even impress your husband.
That's right.
Am I right? Yeah. A woman must think that way, that somebody somewhere is looking for a way you will take that man from you. Mm-hmm. Are you with me? The other side is not too common, where somebody somewhere want to take your wife from you. It's not very common. Men don't think that way a lot. Are you with me?
It's definitely not as prevalent.
It's not as that now, because in the market of marriage, it's easy for a man to remarry, very easy than a woman to remarry. I hope you know that. Yeah. I hope you know that. Oh, it's easy.
There are more women than men.
Yeah, there are more widows. There are more widows than widowers. Even a man that is almost old, you see girl that say, I like you as a father figure. No, there are ladies like that. A lady that is just 29 came to me and he wanted to marry a man of 49. 20 years? Eh? That's like the father. That's what I'm saying. So, I was shocked. You know what shocked me? You want to marry a man of 49, which is almost like your father figure? He said, in fact, I love that kind of a man. He's mature. He's going to... So I was shocked. So, but you hardly see a man that is 29 that want to marry a lady of 49.
That's right.
If you see that happen, it's because the lady has money. And the guy is already stranded. Exactly. He's stranded. Every guy who is financially okay is looking for a younger girl at all time. That you will see a man of 50 looking for a girl of 22 to marry. Yes. It's true. Men say, wow. Because to a man of 50, a girl of 22 is going to be like, guy, that girl is still very hot.
It's exciting.
I mean, but for a woman of 49 and a man of 29, that's my man now. That's my grandma who is interested in that. So that's the way it is. That's what I can say.
So, Gio, so we have a couple of single people in the room, and often there's this thing of, how do I know this person is God's will for me? So how do you get to a point where you're confident that this person I'm about to walk down the aisle with is truly God's will for me?
I think there are two ways to it. There is a way of spirit knowing. So there's what they call spiritual sense. It cannot be explained. So it's like when you went to school as a medical doctor, they train you on so many things. But when it comes to take decisions about the patients, most time, I know you consult books, you look at it, but there are times you just feel like the doctor, this is the decision I need to make. Am I right?
Instinct, yeah.
So the same way, there's a spiritual sense that will tell you this is what you need to do. And that's why your relationship with God will be deeper than you shouldn't start getting to know God more because you want to get married. You should have known the voice of God even before marriage comes. Are you with me? But I've seen a lot of ladies that is when they want to get married, they now become closer, they will now be praying more, they will now be deepening their relationship more. You will make mistake. Because there are some parameters, but those parameters may not even be suffice enough for you to take decisions. Are you with me? There's a place of God speaking to you. Your inner knowing says, this is the person for me. That area must not be. Because the 20, 30, 40 year journey, nobody can fathom it out. Nobody on this face of the earth can say, if a man is like this, is like this, is like this, is like this, for you. What about unseen things that will come? Unseen challenges that will come? Trouble of life that you cannot see in 40 years. A pilot can pick as much as you can see. But sometimes they will tell you, they don't enter the door. That guy said, he said, we cannot pick it up. Our instruments cannot even pick it up. There is no instrument that can be 40 years. It's only the Holy Spirit. I can tell you, marry this guy, the next 20 years, he's still going to be able to be your right person for you. Are you with me? But there are a few things like, okay, the family background is coming from, are they believers? Is he born again? Does he practice holiness? Does he submit to the word of God? All those things are normal. All those things are normal. Because if a man practices the word of God, a woman practices the word of God, he submits to the word of God, he has a pastor, he believes in serving in church. These are natural things you should look for as a qualifications. Are you with me? Because listen to me, if you are a believer and you want to marry a believer, my dear, there are things you must look for. Because in that church, I've seen a girl brought a guy and said, want to marry? Does he go to church? He said, yes, he's the one answering the question for the guy. Yes, he goes to church, sir. I said, no, let me hear from him. Does he have a pastor? Yes, he has a pastor. I said, who is your pastor? You cannot mention any name. Let me worship. I go to Mountain of Fire. Okay, you go to Mountain of Fire. Okay, which branch of Mountain of Fire? He mentioned the branch. Who is the pastor? Hey, really, they don't have, there are so many pastors. So I started saying, okay, you don't even have a relationship with your pastor. So we don't have somebody that speaks to your life. So do you have a spiritual father? So I already know that something is what? Wrong. Are you a worker in the church? No, I worship. I worship in the church, but I serve in the church. Are you with me? Because you can worship anywhere, any Sunday. But when you say I serve in the church, of course you have an HOD. So you work. So these are a few things that will help you. Because one of the things you should know is that when somebody is already under authority, he will respect authority. Are you with me? I am a man under what? Authority. I say to this go, it goes. You remember who said that to Jesus? Centurion. So, if a man does not believe in authority of parents, of a church, he will never respect authority. And there's a day of disagreement in marriage.
But this is not only for the man, right? It's also for the
both of them. So, both of them. A lot of time, many divorces we see today, a lot of time, men has more problems than women. A lot of time in statistics, average married woman have a child, want to stay in that marriage, even they will be being abused, physical abuse, or the abuse, they will still say, he will change. I can't leave this man. In fact, they will be making excuses for them until the man kills them. Am I right? That's why the women's heart is very tender, women can actually make excuses for nonsense people, foolish people. I've seen a lot. I've seen where she's having bruises and is saying that I further, and it's the man that beat her. Are you with me? I've seen where he manipulated you to bring all your life savings. I've seen that. And the man squandered the money and still staying there. I've seen a lot. That is why our girls must be very, very intelligent. And they must be willing to open to somebody. You must have somebody that's like a mentor. You can actually open things up to. Because if you cover things, you are covering your destiny, your life, your future. So I've seen a lot. So I spoke to, we have some members, some people that work in psychiatric hospital in our church. And I have this nurse that is a psychiatric nurse. She's a senior, she's been there for about a year. And I said, a lot of your patients that get it, you see, marriage issue, depressions is so common with ladies than men in the area of the marriage. Because A man can walk out of a relationship without feeling anything easily. But the woman will say, oh, I love this one. So that is why you need to really know that who is his father, spiritual father. Does he go to church? Does he have a vision? Is he working with his vision? Does he have a program? Has he been able to finish his program? Do you know I have seen where this guy did not even finish university. And they lied to the girl, and the girl never will find out. He just get carried away. A lot of ladies will not be able to tell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons they want to marry a guy. You just say, Pastor, I don't know why, but I just love him. I say, yeah. You can just love him. Please. Take this paper, write me 7 reasons why you want to marry this guy.
So Jerry,
you get that?
Yes. So let's say that someone has gone through all of this tests, right? Like you prayed about it, you're convinced that you've heard God, you know how God speaks to you, you've checked all these boxes that we talked about. But this person that God is saying is choice for you is not your idea of perfection or your idea of ideal.
Okay.
What do you do with that?
So, actually,
okay, in their words, it's not your spec.
I think we should be very careful about the word spec. Are you with me? Because really you don't know yourself as much as you think you know yourself. There's a part of you that has not been unveiled. So you need to be very careful about this is my ideal person. I think you should submit more to the Holy Spirit. Are you with me? You should let the Holy Spirit say, this is the person for you. I'm sure I'm not the ideal man for my wife. Coming from the family background she's coming from. Because my wife came from a family where they are business people. So money, the first value is money. I saw something online. I said, what's the ideal man? I said, money. So when I wanted to marry also, the ideal partner for me, because I'm coming from a family of pastors, so the first criteria is that she supports your ministry. Is a ministry material. That's the first thing anybody from my family will be thinking. You want to marry. Because anything we know in our own family is ministry. You already, all my siblings, everybody is pastors. So my wife wasn't a pastor ministry material. It wasn't a ministry material in any way. She's far from it. Are you with me? But I listened to the Holy Spirit and I didn't regret it. So if I'm going to look at some of the criteria, one of the things that broke me, that made me change my mindset was a pastor is a big pastor now who are raised by the same pastor. And so what they told her that you want to get married, you look for a girl that can sing in the choir, that can really be ministry material. And that was what my friend was looking for. He's my senior in ministry, he's older than me. He was just looking for God, give me a girl that is ministry material. And when he met this girl, oh my God, when she sing, this place will shake. The anointing will flow. The feeling will change. There is atmospheric therapies. Well, that's what we call worshipers now. You have to change the atmosphere. They culture the environment for the flow of the power. Are you with me? But the truth is, unknowingly to this, my man, my pastor, senior pastor, my friend, this girl came from a family where they have witchcraft in their system. Hiding under the anointing. That's the witchcraft. They got married. On their wedding day at a place in Oshun called Elisha, everyone want to come down because when she sings, he sings. When she speaks the word, at their wedding, they allow them, the lady started to quoting the scripture. They say, hey, this is a wedding that will work. Their ministry is packed. 3 months after the wedding, the problem broke out. That spirit shows up. and so many issues started happening. The first thing is that anytime they make love together, this man will be down. He will be sick for almost 3 weeks. So they stopped making love. Highly marriage, because sex in the first 5 years of marriage must be intense. Because you are building bond. And a lot of dopamine and oxytocin, all those things need to work between both of you. Of course, after some years, sex won't be the same way. Because I always tell young people that I want to marry so that I can be having sex. You think it's only sex with me? We do. The time is coming that you won't remember sex for 2 weeks. Because there are more things that will occupy you than sex. So many things happen. So when this thing happened and they started praying deliverance and so many things were coming out, I said, God, when I want to get married, I won't use this as a yardstick. I won't use it as a yardstick. I also see where the man feel like, as a pastor, the person I need somebody that can quote scripture every time. And you now start seeing competition on the altar. The wife is preaching, the husband she's also preaching. Even though she preaches, I am the husband. I know the word more than it should be complementary, not competition. I mean, so yardstick should not be what you look for only. As Holy Spirit, you want me in this relationship? Lord, talk to me. You need to hear God clearly. So that on the day of trial, you will remind that word will come back. That word will come back. Say, God, you told me I should. You told me. I remember when we had the first child and it was stillbirth. The child died at the delivery. And I said, God, because I've been handling cases of people looking for a child before I got married. And I dread that thing. I dread delay. I dread barrenness. I said, God, no, this is not what you told me. You told me this lady will produce children that will be stars. Why this one time? God said, no, if you try. The voice is what I brought back to fight that battle. So you need a word from the Lord. Not even the one somebody told you. You hear it from your father. My sheep hear my voice. The voice of a stranger they will not. So you need to hear God. The moment you can hear God, and you can also look at all the boxes. Even though you may not tick all the boxes, you also need to hear God. Because that's expecting, me, I'm 5'10". I would never date a man that is not 5'11" or 6'1". Take it out. Forget that. There's nothing like that. Your husband can be 5'5" and you are 5'10". It means nothing. The height means nothing. The look means nothing. In fact, you won't see looks when the real problem hits you. Ask many men how beautiful were their wife. What they saw as beauty is the mother of my children, the one that supports my vision. They don't even see those beauty. Because when I got married, 2-3 years after marriage, some of my colleagues say, where did you get this lady? She's so pretty. Her skin is like milk. I will look at my wife and say, it's not true. Because I don't see it. I don't see it. Are you with me? Yes. And she's pretty. I mean, yes. But I don't see it. Even now. So don't ever think that is important. Are you with me? I have a member of my church. She always cries over her marriage. She's not divorced, but they are just there. Are you with me? They are just there because the children like him. And I said, why? What really happened? He said, sir, the guy that I would have married, the only reason that the man is short. This guy he was everything. But when time I see that, me, short, married man, short? No, this will not happen. It's every time the guy is talking to me, I will always be looking down and say, no. And the guy left. Now got this guy tall. very intelligent, a singer. In their church, is the best dressed. He said, when the guy started talking to me, in fact, before he started talking to me, I'm already feeling like, this is my spirit. And by the time I introduced him to my friends, he said, wow, you get it. What a catch. But I tell you, 1 year after the wedding, she knows that she has entered what we call one chance.
So, Gio, we have a couple of questions on the house, right? But in 30 seconds, I've heard God clearly that this is who I'm supposed to be with. But my family does not support the choice. What do I do?
I have to pray and convince as many I need to convince. Because the truth is, your family will not be with you for the rest of your life. You need to convince. I have a case like that in my church. This guy they met at the NYSC camp, and the guy now chooses to be a pastor. God has been calling, and as soon as he finished NYSC, the next thing was to go to Bible school, and he became a pastor. And the lady came from a family where they are expecting you to marry a banker. You know, that's the banker, lawyer, engineer. So when he now told the mom, this person, what is he doing? The first thing, what is he doing? Say, why is it stop. Are you crazy? Are you okay? So the mother said, don't even let your father know. And I don't think you are serious. So day in, day out, you are asking questions, was saying the same thing. So one day the father calling, come, who are you dating? He said, I have somebody, my mommy knows. You know. He said, I know, but I know that it can't work. He said, why it cannot work? Tell your dad. He said, pastor, are you okay? I sent you to good school. So pastor, you will bring? I don't want to hear. So then he said, okay, sir, if you think that's not the person I should marry, I will not marry. And they were dating, they were praying. The lady attended at church. So one day, he came to me, time was going. I prayed, we fasted. I said, can I have the name of your father, your mother? We lay on the altar. God, if you really wanted to marry, convince his parents. After some time, the father just called, bring that pastor. Bring that pastor. So when the pastor came, he was talking very intelligent. He went to university. Why did you choose to be a pastor? He said, I was concerned. Say, so my daughter will suffer. Because pastors, that time, is not like today. Am I right? In fact, everybody wants to be a pastor now. I mean, I see people losing their job for being ministry. But it doesn't happen those days. So, pastor. And today, they are married. And this pastor now holding church, they hold so many things today. When I wanted to marry my wife, my father-in-law said, come, boy, you come marry my daughter. And you know, pastor, is your dad the pastor? I know, say yes. It's we that give people food now. We pastors. I told my wife, my daughter, I said, hear me say, are you crazy? Pastor? Are you with me? That was the way it is. It was there. But when God started working with us, I mean, I think when we did the Equator Church in 2006, the man came for it was 2002 when the younger sister got married, and then that wasn't having a lot of money anymore. We bankrolled the wedding. And when we went back, the father called my wife into the room and said, what work is Amos doing now? Because I saw Mercedes Benz. He's still a pastor is doing, say, are you sure? So 2009, the man came and saw that we dedicated the headquarters church then. I mean, the 1,200 seaters, so many big pastors. So the man called me into the room and said, I want to apologize to you. The way I looked down on you when you wanted to marry my daughter. I can never believe God can take you to this place. Anyway, if you have a contract for me, you don't have to pay that. So, no matter what the family that say no, I have been there. Are you with me? That's why I always live my life to reply the parents that my wife will be well taken care of. So if I have the last money, I must give to her to make her look good. I will make her, in fact, I spoiled her too much at a point. Because the parents feel like, whoa, you can't become anything. I mean, when the mother died and we did a wonderful burial ceremony, the father called me and said, come, when I die, please, exactly what you did. I have 16 children.
I love that man.
And none of them.
He's a hustler.
None of them. So that was why the burial we have to do it that way. And it was exactly what you wanted we did. And so the truth is, anybody can go against your relationship. What did God say? What both of you say? Is that important?
Thank you. So we have questions. How many questions do we have?
3.
All right. So can we ask them in sequence and then we'll answer together?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's
Okay. Loud. All right. My first question is: so logically, right? Can the Holy Spirit or God, right, choose a husband for you, right? I know it sounds kind of okay. You have to like have someone, and maybe you go to God.
Yeah, God chose someone for you.
Logically, God will just tell you this person is the person I've chosen for you. And then something happened to me recently that I'm wording this towards this next question, right? It was just something that happened differently with the Holy Spirit and I, and we had a conversation. So unfortunately for me, he has been telling me something that is not concerning marriage, right? That I wasn't paying attention to because I had something built up in my mind. So every time he's talking about that thing, I thought that this is what he's talking about. So in a way, I feel like and he told me that he gave me a scripture. So when I unraveled that scripture, it's like a stronghold, right? So now I meditate upon this thing, I put it upon this marriage thing, right? So you know how some people, right, they already have someone they want to get married to in their mind. And now, not like they don't hear God, right? But now they take that issue to God. And then because they have that person, they already build up a home in their mind.
You call it I know.
It's a struggle, right? So they build that thing in their mind. They build they will build kids with those person in their mind. They build.
What's the question?
So the question is now. So I'm just trying to like explain where the question is going. So now, if you go to God, this question is: you go to God and then you're asking God about this person to get married to this person, and then I feel like, because it happened to me before. I feel like you've seen that person in your dream and you feel like God is telling you that this is the person, but that's what you're thinking, right? And God is saying that's not the person. But do you think that because of that thing that you've been in your mind, you feel like that's the answer you're getting from God?
Yes, I understand that. Okay. Can we take
the next question?
Yeah, okay. So my question is, how do you not settle when you're making that selection of your spouse? Because there's this narrative that a lot of older, probably like older generation of like married Nigerian women that are advising women who want to make that selection of their spouse choice. They keep saying like, oh, don't be too picky, and don't do this or that. Like, how do you not be intentional about the choice of partner you're about to build your life with? If you choose, there's so many things. We make choices every day. We're consistently choosing things. When it comes to your partner, don't be too picky. It's giving just settle. So how do you not settle? I know we have the Holy Spirit in making this choice and whatnot, but how do you counter that narrative of not settling?
Okay. Last question. Are we done then? Okay. We are fine, right?
There's
a lot of time.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer something?
Yeah, sure. So the whole thing of don't be too picky, don't be too picky. So I think we kind of like addressed it earlier, right? Like, I think as God's child that truly wants to marry for purpose and marry to fulfill destiny, I think you need to lose your own checklist, right? And just keep an open mind And I think when adults come up and they say, don't be too picky, I think what they're saying is, don't be too quick to write somebody off. Because the person does not appear the way you expect them to appear. Right? So in my mind, I want to marry a certain type of person, or a certain type of person is what seems to be the ideal for me. And then somebody else comes across and they're not checking off all the boxes that I have in my head unintentionally. I think what they're saying is, it could still be God's will and miss a box or two. Yes. Right? Like, and that doesn't make them any less a husband material. It doesn't make them any less ideal for you. Because Gio says something that is really profound. All you see is today. You don't see the next 10, the next 20, the next 30 years. And something you think you need today may not be adequate in 20 years. So that's why it's important. And the only yardstick, honestly, for marriage is following God's will. If I had followed my will, I wouldn't have married my husband.
Yeah.
My husband didn't check the boxes. It wasn't what I wanted. When I thought about who I would end up with, my husband was not it. But I can honestly tell you that even up until today, I still sat down while we were waiting to set up for the program, and I still thought, oh my God, like, I really ended up marrying an amazing, amazing human. But in that moment, it didn't appear that way, right? And does that mean he's flawless? Does that mean he doesn't have errors? Absolutely not. But I married him only because I knew that that was what God was asking me to do. Even at the time, my family thought I was being brainwashed. My family thought I was being jazzed. I'm telling you the honest truth. They got on the phone with my husband, like, what did you use on her? Like, what did you do that is making her say that you are her choice? Like, who are your parents? Who are you? We don't know you guys. Like, this is not what we planned for her, because they already had people that they thought I should marry, right? But when it came down to it, I chose him because God chose him. So honestly, it may sound religious, it may sound like it's not practical, but in all sincerity, it is truly the only yardstick that truly matters. Who is God's will for you? Go to God. I'm interested in this person. What do you have to say? This person is interested in me. What do you have to say? And honestly, if God says no, no matter how hard it is, it's a no. Because you will feel better walking away now than after you've had 2 kids, 3 kids. A lot of things have already happened. That to untangle yourself is way more complicated. And then you now end up truly settling. Because now I'm going to stay because of the kids. I'm going to stay because of this. I'm going to stay because of that. As compared to truly being clear from the get-go that this is God's will for me. I know sometimes adults can exert pressure. And because they just want to print an invitation card, it comes across like, you know, they're putting too much pressure, like, come, stop being picky, stop being picky. But just take it as what they're saying to me is that the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh may not check off all my boxes, but it doesn't make them any less God's will.
I think we also know that our decisions are based on our available information and the way you are raised. Are you with me? Yeah. So the ideal beautiful woman is what they publish in the media. Am I right? So you have to be 5'7". You have to have this waist. I mean,
be curvy.
Be curvy. So you will start looking depressed because you check yourself in the mirror, you feel it. But you are a human being. Am I right? And somebody does not even, when God was creating you, it's not about the 5'7" or all those things. So you now find out that, even that as big as I am, somebody is crazy about me. Are you with me? So that's why, even your own decision that this is the right person for me, where do you get information from? It should be from your maker, who knows you and what you will become in 30 years. And who knows him what he will become in 30 years. That's why. That's the only way. So, all of us that are here, we've been through all those things. But it does not really matter. Imagine that I know I will be a pastor from birth. My parents know that the work I will do is pastoral. They already know before I was born. So even when I wanted to go to another university to study, my parents discouraged that to take me to Bible school because they already know where I'm going. So I should marry. If I'm going to marry, they should be looking for
another PK.
Another PK for me. They should look for somebody that will, in fact, I remember Pastor Joseph's mom happened to be my mentor when I was young, working under the father as a pastor. Are you with me? So I work under the daddy, Pastor Joseph, as a father, as a pastor. I was working under him. Are you with me? So the mom would always call me and say, "You must come. Let me get you a wife." Praise God. The mom is a good matchmaker. We say, "Come, look at this girl. She always sing. See how that girl is singing to fit you." And I would say, "Dad, Mom, I like it, but let me go and pray." And I will go and pray and say, God said no. God said, if I marry this one, he's singing, will be poor. God will tell me clearly, if you marry this one, you won't have children. So I was asking God. It was God that would pick. So, and then number two, never put anybody in your mind when you are praying. Never have an image. Are you with me?
Be open.
Just be open to God and say, God, anybody you give me. Even when God gives you and you don't say, God, I don't, you're not fine, oh God. I remember the case of
I know what you're talking about.
when God said, she gave her life to Jesus at the age of 27, and God said for the next 23 years of your life, don't think about marriage. Don't even pray about marriage. Marry me first. Know me. Build me. Let me and you be close first. So it was when she was doing her 29th birthday to 30. And God has said, now, it's time for you to be praying for husband. Are you with me? I said, then pray for husband. And God said, as you go to fellowship, a man will talk to you. That's the person I've given to you. And they have been in fellowship a lot together at that fellowship. Why this guy just walk up to her and say, Sister Dolapo, how are you? Oh, he knows that as bro. Oh, bro, how are you? And the Lord has a word for you from me. As I'm praying, I receive. They used to receive each other in the fellowship, you know. I receive you as the person we are going to run the journey of ministry and life together. Is it him? You? No.
She said she cried.
She said she cried for 1 week. You are not me to. You are not me to where you were sharing. Said she cried. Number one, this brother came from a very low background. We went to university, but he came from the parents are villager. They are from the village. She came from a family of
very affluent.
The father and the governor of your state, they are friends. Governor come to their house to eat dinner. You know what that means? So how will you? I mean, the parents are high class, is exposed. This from the village that just went to university and become a pastor, a fellowship leader. In fact, they say, when they say, God, you are not good to me.
You told me to wait for 3 years, and this is all you have to present.
And God said, well, Dolapo, if that's my choice for you, then you can make your own choice.
Hey.
Or because he has been intimate with God so much, he cannot do otherwise. So with cry, wiping face, she come say yes. So how am I going to now convince my parents? So he told the mom, mom is always close and ask a question. This person, mom said, he invited the guy. He told us.
He did, he showed up.
He kind of put
Santana.
Then the guy dressed somehow.
The shoe was like, I'd lost its like, so, yeah.
And mom said, so this person, your love, oh, you spoil our life. In fact, the wedding was not properly done because they don't want to make noise. They didn't want the family, the friend to say, yeah, was a shameful religion, marriage. But today, the man who university, who they have a big church, Nibada, Bishop Taiwo Adelapo of Victory Rehoboth Cathedral. How many of you know him? You know him? But it wasn't like that then. So that's why I say only God knows the future. He said every of the siblings that are married, either a lawyer, their marriage has crashed. In fact, it's the other one and the husband that took care of their parenting, they died.
They are the lighthouse of
They are it's just like our own story too. I mean, that's exactly. I mean, the burial of my father-in-law, we went.
So, Gio, I hope you did for him what he wanted. I hope you did for him what he wanted.
Exactly. In fact, we did more.
Very good.
In fact, to the extent that my wife would say, no, we don't need to go to the house and say, we'll wait. So the word, everybody that come, that should be praising, is mean they will be turning to. I say, I'm in trouble. So it's just God. God can take us anywhere. Thank you.
So, Lola, I think that also addressed your question.
Yes. I think we should.
Yeah, we're done. Thank you all so much. This was really, really amazing. I learned so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And many more to come by God's grace. So please, we want wedding invites, but we only want invites after you've heard God. Yes. Right? And we want, including I myself, that will all be wealth owners. Right, and we'll build wealth that will outlast us, and generational wealth in Jesus' name. God bless you. Love you guys. Thank you so much.